be what we should do, Father, before you. And God, may your hand of mercy and grace be upon all the citizens. For it's in Christ's name we pray.
Item number Okay, item number 5, approve or disapprove minutes of September the 9th, 2013. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Thacker,
Aye.
Delozer, Helm,
Aye.
motion's been carried and approved.
Item number 6, new business. Gentlemen, do you have any new business? Mr. Iskey, anything you know of?
Nothing that I'm aware of.
Okay. Item number 7, announcements. Commissioners?
I do have one. We found in the old courthouse, they pulled the block out on the northeast corner and found 2 baggies behind it. And these are them. We're not going to open them. We'll give them to the lodge and let them decide what they're going to do with them. It's got some stuff. What I can see is this is alphabetical list of towns where lodges are held, and this has got a newspaper in it, and some sort of a Masonic coin, and then a Masonic calendar, and that's all you can, all I can see from it right now. So we'll let them open them and see what's in them.
Very good, sir. Mr. Helm, do you have anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. Item number 8, unfinished business. Open and award bid number 627 for self-propelled sweeper for District 3. This item was tabled from September the 9th, 2013. Gentlemen, I ask that this be tabled until now to give my shop foreman a chance to go look at the specs and things. David True?
You asked me to review the bid specs, and I did for an evaluation. There was 3 vendors, Warren Cat, Curtis Smith, and Van Campbell and Tulsa, all of them. Caterpillar didn't meet the bid specifications on the machine, period. Curtis Smith and Van Campbell met the bid specs in the proposal bids. But Kirby didn't meet the warranty as prescribed in the bid specs. And Kirby did offer an option to add on that warranty for $2,215. There was also the high bid of $105,000 plus the 22. GW Van Campbell was low bid at $89,166 on a used machine as stated in the bid specifications, 115 hours. I and the road foreman out there, Terry, have looked at the machine. It looks in excellent shape. Both of them bid it basically the same machine. It was Bro's machine, both places, the manufacturer. In reviewing all of it, I recommend GW Van Campbell Tulsa for the bid.
Did they not have 2 bids, Van Campbell?
They had 2. The other one was higher than this one.
Okay.
And it was $3,000 difference and about 25 hours difference in the machine. I took the lower one as recommended.
Okay, this question will get asked, so I'm going to go ahead and let you clear it up right now. Caterpillar was the low bid with $50,000. Can you explain why?
Yeah. Explain why. We asked for a transfer sweeper, and they submitted a self-propelled sweeper only. And the difference between the transfer and the self-propelled sweeper is this one removes the material and picks it up and disposes it into a truck to be hauled off. The other one just sweeps it off to the side. And most generally the broom's used for paving, you know, all in dirt. And when you get into these housing additions, it cleans them up. And that's why Kirk asked for the machine. So you get rid of the material, you don't have to have excessive sweeping and take it over into the people's yard.
questions on that? Thank you, David. I'm gonna make a motion to go with the low bid of $89,166 from GW Van Keppel.
Second.
Thacker,
Aye.
Helm,
Aye.
Lozier.
Aye.
Motion's been carried and approved.
Unfinished business item number 2, open and award bid number 629 for 4 water storage tanks. This item was tabled from September 9, 2013. Amanda McLemore.
We had 3 bids submitted, Roto-Rooter, K&M, and Mullen. Roto-Rooter was the highest bid. So all 3 were the same storage tanks. Roto-Rooter was the highest bid, only offered a 3-year warranty when the manufacturer offers 5, so we threw that one out, leaving K&M and Mullen. Mullen Plumbing is not covering all of the plumbing work that would be required to replace these tanks. They are the lowest bid. They're looking at $135 per hour plus labor for the plumbing required on those tanks. They're not available, the tank would not be available until 10/1, and they're saying it's gonna take at least 2 to 3 days to install their tanks, which means our kitchen would be shut down for 2 to 3 days, which means we have to go out of the building for food for inmates. Looking at approximately $1,200 a day to supply outside food, pre-made food for the inmates. So we are suggesting that we go with K&M, who is also the only authorized retailer and repair service for these tanks in the area, which is the middle bid.
It's not the low bid, but it is the middle
It's the middle
bid, and
bid.
it's the
It's
best.
the best,
bid.
yes.
Okay, questions?
What was K&N's bid?
24.6.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thacker,
Aye.
Lozier.
Aye.
Helm.
Aye.
Motion's been carried and approved.
Item number 3, discussion possible action in regards to employee payroll accounts, human resources. This item was tabled from September 3 and September 9, 2013. Commissioner Helm. Okay, we'll take no action at this time. Okay, if we go down to item number 12, cash fund estimate of needs and request for appropriations. Number 1, 149 planning commission bonds, and number 2, 150 planning commission escrow. Director Curtis.
Yes, Commissioners, last week, as it is every month, the Board of County Commissioners approved the cash estimate of needs for all departments. Ours was left off of that list. And this is our, for the utility permit fees. And as per discussion with the board, we were going to be hiring a utility permit inspector / code enforcement officer with these funds. And for us to be able to do that, it must be, cash estimate of needs must be approved.
Discussion. You say code enforcement officer is what you were wanting to,
It would be utility inspector / code enforcement officer. As we know, in the county, we have had an increase, especially with the recent water or rain that we've been having. We've had a lot more high grass going on in our subdivisions. And as we progress, hopefully with the state legislature change, our code enforcement officer will be able to tackle more other issues.
anything? You can see these?
It's still a cash fund estimate of needs, right?
Correct. So
So
this
this comes to the board, like this is identified to the Board of County Commissioners.
correct.
So it would still be a place where it has to come to the Board of County Commissioners, and then we designate it back to you and your office if the budget is passed and supports what you want. Right?
Correct.
So moved.
Second.
Thacker,
Aye.
Lozier.
Aye.
Helm.
Aye.
Motion's been carried and approved.
Okay, down to claims. Is it 3 only?
Yes.
Number 3, under claims, detention, transportation claims, State of Oklahoma, Office of Juvenile Affairs, August 2013, in the amount of $1,700.14.
It's just for acknowledgement only.
You said acknowledgement only.
Yes, because we, after you sign that, I send them back in and send it, they send it to.
I thought we had to approve detention transportation claim.
Well, it's approved by the sheriff's office, you just sign it and it's on the agenda.
That is true, that we have approved them in the past.
Have to approve it.
So moved.
Second.
Thacker,
Aye.
Delozer,
Aye.
Helm,
Aye.
motion's been carried and approved.
Blanket purchase orders, item 16. Do we have any items under that?
We have blanket purchase orders number 1.
Okay.
Sheriff to Speedy Lube for $500, that's for oil changes. District 3 to American Waste Control, $2,070 for the dumpsters at Inola Yard. District 3 to Walmart for various office supplies, $100. District 3 to Office Everything for office supplies for $100. District 3 to Ameriflex Hose and Accessories for various truck and equipment parts, $500. District 2 to O'Reilly's for various parts, $1,000. That's all.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thacker,
Aye.
Delozer,
Aye.
Helm,
Aye.
motion's been carried and approved.
Okay, we drop down to item number 19, agenda item number 1, update by BKL Incorporated and Flintco regarding courthouse and E911 center projects.
Good morning, Commissioners. Over at the EOC, we have the map ordered. We're waiting on it for the whiteboard, and we're working on punch list, have a few items left. We're gonna try to get that wrapped up this week. At the 911 center, we sealed brick Saturday. We're currently caulking the exterior of the building. About the only work we have left on the inside, some flooring. It is scheduled to be completed today or tomorrow. We're working, next week, we'll be working on the punch list and gonna be punching it. They're gonna come in and we're gonna start equipment startup and commissioning. The generator and UPS, we have owner training scheduled next week. We're working on closeout right now, getting the O&Ms together, and then the septic tank scheduled to start this week also on the exterior.
Any questions for Mr. Rumsey? Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir. Agenda item number 2, presentation by VFW Commander Bill Ritchie regarding brick paper sales for the courthouse plaza. He was unable to attend September 3 and September 9.
He is again unable to attend, it looks like.
Okay,
I make a motion, we take this off of the agenda until he can be here. We'll have to set a date that he can actually come, because we don't need to keep tabling this.
Second.
Thacker,
aye.
Delozer,
Aye.
Helm,
Aye.
motion's been carried and approved.
Item number 3, discussion and possible action regarding cleaning crew access to Division 1 courtroom, 4th floor. This was put on the agenda because I received a phone call from Mr. Harrison.
You guys need to come up?
Yes, if you would come up, please. If you you would state your name and address for.
My name is David Harrison, 816 Southeast 11th, Pryor, Oklahoma.
Okay. Mr. Harrison, you'd called and asked to be put on the agenda
Correct.
because apparently you received a phone call or something last week, said you were mentioned in the meeting. and you
Right.
wanted to come and- Okay.
Last week's meeting, well, I'm part of the mysterious cleaning crew that was mentioned several times last week. Myself, along with my wife Rita Harrison, which I'm sure you all know, my daughter, and my son-in-law. And we have been cleaning at the old courthouse and the new courthouse. We started approximately 7 years ago. I took over from the crew that did it before. And what I'm requesting is access not only to the 4th floor, but 3rd floor and the court clerk's office. We also clean that. Previously, of course, we had keys to the old courthouse. Before the new courthouse was open, my wife was asked to submit names for people that needed to be granted access to the new courthouse to clean. Of course, I think that was verbal. Since she was unable to receive any information, there's some emails, maybe just easier to take one and pass down. Kind of a paper trail of, trying to get access to the building. We were using her card to get in, with the addition to my granddaughter. My wife was nominated to babysit her while we cleaned. That didn't work out very good as far as bringing her up here, so Rita stayed at home and the rest of us came over and cleaned using her card. So, and by the way, from what was mentioned last week about being here, cleaning crew being here at 2 o'clock in the morning, I wouldn't get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to clean my house, let alone drive over here from Pryor to clean around here. But anyway, I'm here requesting access to the courthouse, official access, and also keys to the offices, judges' offices. We do have one for the court clerk. What's been going on now, Rita, if she has time, we'll call the judge's offices. Said if you want your office clean, leave your door unlocked. Sometimes we get over here and they're unlocked, sometimes they're not. So if you have any questions, I will be more than happy to entertain them.
Any questions? Would you take a look at that?
I didn't bring my +2s. I'll let you read them.
The part that's highlighted.
Okay. That, of course, I'm totally unaware of because, like I said, we've been doing it for 7 years. Nothing was mentioned, 7 years ago when we
Right.
took over. So whatever needs to.
Because no one that I'm aware of from the board knew that anyone was in the courthouse. With this new key card system, it tells
Right.
who is there, when they're there, and so and then apparently this 2 o'clock in the morning business that I heard last week, which you say is not accurate.
Correct.
Are you the one that set off the alarm?
No, sir. We have not ever set off any of the alarms.
And Mr. Taylor, we had their only access right now is through Rita, using Rita's card, who is an employee for the court. And we had her card checked, and they have never been in here. I don't think it even showed ever after 10 o'clock. They usually come on Wednesday nights or Saturdays.
Correct.
And so, we've known that they've been doing it, like he said, for 6 years. And they're paid through, the court fund.
I'd like to read what Mr. Harrison, what I just gave him. Rogers County Courthouse Building Rules and Regulations. Employee tenant shall not employ any service or contractor for services or work to be performed in the courthouse except with prior written approval of the BOCC. The only way we knew they were here was because of the key cards.
And when I came into office in January, I asked Judge Post if we needed to do a new contract or anything, and she told me that she didn't believe so because nothing was changing, and they've been here since, I think it's 2006 or 7. So, they've just been coming all this time.
Mhm.
So I would have to have the court system come down. It's not I don't pay them, they don't work for me, it's for the court. So we'd have
No,
to
I
have Judge
understand,
Schreiber
I
come
mean, I
down.
understand that part. My point is that there are certain regulations that haven't been followed, from upstairs. And so this is turned in, so I asked Mr. Harrison to come up. Mr. Iskey, do you have any, you wanna weigh in on any of this at this point, or? Just asking. Okay. Said Mr. Savage. You had something?
Yes, sir.
Come on up, please.
Last week when I said the cleaning crew was misstated in, it was actually the exterminator.
Exterminator.
Yes. I just, it was.
How big it is?
We just had this discussion, in my understanding, Ryan had always let them in the old courthouse, and it was kind of assumed they would be allowed in here. And they were given a key card, and they went to Willis Ray Bugs at 2 o'clock in the morning.
They've always sprayed in the middle of the night.
Right.
From what I
We
understood.
have to do that during non-occupied hours, and they typically come in about midnight, takes about 3 hours to do it. They do it once a month.
Because of the smell,
They also,
chemicals, whatever.
right, and we don't want, someone being around while they're doing it. They spray the high corners, they spray every office around. I'm sure you've seen some of the dead crickets from that. They also do the county building and the election board course also. Do they do y'all's, I'm not sure,
With
Bugs R Us, I believe they do the jail also.
Does Mr. Harrison need to get a new contract or something with the judges? Because the courtrooms have to be cleaned after hours also, because court is in session and they can't come during the day.
Right. I don't know, that might be a legal question. Do they have, they're contracted with the state of Oklahoma. They're not contracted with us. All we want to know is who's in the building, when they're in the building. And that's the whole purpose of this new building, putting in this elaborate key card system. Over 150 some cameras, so we know who's in the building, what they're doing, the time. As with any system, if there's a breakdown and someone loans a card out, then all we know is whose card it was. Mr. Iskey, do you want to explain the board's role in overseeing of the courthouse?
Absolutely. Board is in charge and responsible for the courthouse building. Somebody in the building suffers a calamity, you will be named as a defendant. What I would suggest is two things. One, if the judges want to request an outside vendor to do cleaning, that they approach you, or that they formally in writing ask you, and Ms. Henry for her office as well. Second of all, if they do a contract, that there be a place on there for you all simply to acknowledge that. That way, you can put that in your system. You'll know, who might be in the building. Of course, I think you would want to be assured that they have their own comp and liability and the normal things you look at
Right.
for an independent contractor. I said there were two things, or actually three. When Mr. Harrison said he was using somebody else's card, I think that opens concern for you guys. Again, I think you made it real clear when you went to the card system, the card is to be used by that individual only. So that is both a liability and a security issue. So I think those are the three things I would recommend you want to look at.
Okay, so we would ask Mr. Harrison to bring back this insurance,
The normal things you do
The
for an
normal
independent
things,
contractor.
right, anybody else.
Insurance, workers' comp. Again, though, I think it starts with the elected officials sending in writing a request to you all for using an outside vendor and why they don't want to use the county maintenance system.
You know, and they have actually, we have one right here from, Dave and Rita Harrison. I don't recall seeing it, but it's dated May 2nd, so it looks like they did attempt to get that information.
I'm sorry, that the elected officials did?
No.
Okay, that's my first point, that the elected officials who use the courthouse would need to make a request of you, the board, why, that they want to use an outside vendor, and why they're declining use of the provided building maintenance department. And then go to the other steps.
Excuse me, I'm assuming you're meaning the elected judges request.
And as I understand it, Ms. Henry, for the court clerk.
He's just been here, I just use him because the court fund pays for it, and he's been here for 6 years. You'd have to ask the judges why they did it. I'm sure it was to cut down on maintenance having to clean the courtrooms and allowing additional staff. But that's all contracts that Judge Stidley would be over, not me.
Yeah, no, I understand. This is all I've got right here is from the Harrisons.
And I know they've been working with Judge Post and Judge Stidley, because they have been emailing me also.
Well, could you bring all that back to us and ask Judge Post, because that's actually what you're claiming for, correct?
Well, no, I mean, like, this year, I believe it's Judge Stidley.
Judge
the right-
Stidley is
you're
the chief
judge.
judge, yes.
Do you have a Judge Stidley, or would you ask him to give us that information, and then
Okay.
we'll have to revisit it, probably, if they get it this week, we'll look at it next week.
Okay.
Do you want him maybe even come Monday, Judge Stidley, to come in?
If he would,
Okay,
yes, please.
Is that something I need to do, or?
I can get hold of him and
Okay.
tell him what's going on. I just
Yeah,
know they have
and
jury
right,
term this week.
We do need it in writing
Right.
from the judge.
Okay. Do y'all need a copy of that, or just?
If you'll send it to Christine,
Okay.
she
And
will
this is-
disseminate it.
Just to let you know, this is something that the state of Oklahoma does, I think in most courts, to cut down on the maintenance of the courthouse from having to take care of the courtrooms and all their maintenance and their court clerks. So they provide this service on their budget so that they can get someone to come in and clean. And at one point, I didn't know for sure if Rita and them were gonna still do it, and I talked to Ryan maybe of us trying to figure out a way to, if they decided they didn't wanna do it, putting the money over towards the commissioners. And I know Judge Stidley had talked to some people at AOC, and at some reason they can't do that, so it had to be an outside vendor. I don't know if it's a rule that AOC had or what, so.
Yeah, my issue's not I mean, if they wanna clean, they're getting paid for it, that's fine by me. My issue is, we've been somewhat lenient, in the past of who's going where. We don't know who's going, I mean, we don't know. When Mr. Iskey plainly stated that it is entirely up to the board. We're named in the lawsuits, we're the ones that, and so all we're asking is that we know who's in here and that they have the proper access, which would be a card that's assigned to them if the board approves that. So if you could have His Honor, Judge Stidley, put that in writing for us, we'll revisit it. Okay? Any questions for Mr. Harrison?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Kim.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Can we also get in there and state, from Mr. Steiner, what is the cost, rate per hour, how many people, how many times, all of that at the same time?
Yes, we can do that. I'm gonna make a motion to table this for 1 week, so we can visit it when we have the requests in writing.
Second.
Delozer.
Aye.
Helm.
Aye.
Motion's been carried to table 1 week.
Okay, item number 4, open and award bid number 104, laid asphalt.
This is a 3-month bid for October, November, and December.
Okay, bid number 104, laid asphalt, sent out 16 bids, received 2 bids. Bids returned as undeliverable, 0. First bid is from APAC Central. Type B price per ton, laid asphalt, $70, all districts. Type C, $73, all districts. Okay.
Go ahead.
Next bid, Dunham's Asphalt Service. Type B, price per ton laid, $65. Type C, price per ton laid, $65.
B and C the same price?
So it says, $65 a ton. It doesn't say if it's, apparently it's district-wide or county-wide. It's not specified. We have a motion.
I'd say, first of all, close this new project.
Is there a second? I'll second.
Thacker.
Aye.
Delozer.
Aye.
Helm.
Aye.
Motion's been carried and approved.
Thanks, sir. Okay, item number 5, open and award bid number 628, automated workforce management system, human resources. Bids sent out 4, bids received 2, bids returned as undeliverable, 0. The company first bid is ADP Incorporated. $28,341.75 annually for 285 employees, paid monthly including W-2s. Next bid is from Kronos. $2,913.60 minimum monthly. Workforce Ready is billed based on customer usage. That's all it has. See that one? How much is that?
$34,956 if we do it by month.
Would you say that again, Mike, so Jane can hear you?
$34,956 and some change.
Motion to table for 1 week.
Thacker,
Aye.
Delozer,
Aye.
Helm.
Aye.
Motion's been carried to table for 1 week.
Okay, next item, open and award bid number 630, new brush chipper with a trade-in of used BC 1400 Vermeer brush chipper. This is for District 3. Robin LePage, would you tell us how this came about?
At your request, I went and looked for a grant so we could purchase a new wood chipper. And I was able to apply and we received one. At your request, was instructed to look for a grant for a new wood chipper for District 3. Was able to find one through APCO, Association of County Commissioners of Oklahoma. We were granted, we were given, approved for a grant for $23,000 for the purchase of a new wood chipper.
Thank you very much. Bids sent out 3, well, let me explain this. We have an older wood chipper, and in order to trade it in and use the grant money and everything, it was a bid item, so we went out for bids on the new one. Bids sent out 3, bids received 1, bids returned as undeliverable. That's it. What is that? Oh, there's only one, there's one bid. This is from Vermeer out of Catoosa. The bid is $32,096 is the balance after trade-in of Vermeer BC 1400. And the serial number is on here. Is a difference of about approximately $9,000. Comes with warranties.
You're moving up to the 1500.
Yeah, we are going a little bit bigger. Make a motion to accept bid number 630 from Vermeer Great Plains in Catoosa.
Thacker,
Aye.
Delozer,
Aye.
Helm. Motion's been carried and approved.
Okay, item number 7, discuss and possible action regarding voice and data equipment for EOC. Director Stokes.
Yes, Commissioners, I've got, this is from Presidio, this is the voice and data stuff for the EOC, and Brett would probably be able to explain it a lot better than I can. So I would like to invite him up at this time to explain exactly what this is. We've got the technical knowledge.
jail to connect to our current phone system. One of the huge advantages for the jail would be upgrading the switch to a Cisco switch, which is top of the line. They're gonna see better performance in all their computers at that switch, but I highly recommend that we go with this.
Any questions?
Funding,
911 bond.
thank you.
Any questions?
Say that again.
Would that come out of the 911 bond?
What's 911 gonna do with this?
This is what I was told, because it's part of emergency operations.
Okay, but I don't think that has anything to do with 911.
Very limited.
So it comes out of courthouse money?
We're gonna courthouse bond ourselves out of money here pretty quick. In fact, we're just about there. We can't continue to pull out, or say courthouse bond, when we're not even for sure how much money we've got in there. There comes a time that we're gonna have to back up and say, let's find out where the money is before we spend it.
Is this what we're looking at, a grand total of $14,037.77?
Yes.
That's the total?
The EOC started out in the courthouse. Then it was pushed out of the courthouse into 911. That was downsized to 911, pushed out of 911, back to the courthouse, which has nowhere to go except for an office. And it would have to go, the original deal was to have him in 911, and that failed. And now it's a place where we've redone all this work over there in the courthouse, in the jail, the sheriff's office, the jail, excuse me, which is by the jail authority. So we've all agreed to have him in there, so it would have to be paid out of. We can't take it out of jail authority because jail authority is broke. So we can't take it out of the jail authority. If we don't take it out of the 911 bond, or we don't take it out of the courthouse bond, then we'd have to take it out of the excess that's open, which would be the general fund.
That's one of the main reasons I was running this past you guys before I put it, kind of stamp of approval on it.
I don't have any problem doing this. I mean, emergency management, we have to have in this county. There's no doubt about that. But we have to know where our money is. Before we can spend it, we really need, we can keep saying courthouse bond, 911 bond, but we don't know how much money we've got left in there at this moment. I don't. These two might, but I don't. And I can't justify spending something that I don't know if I have. So as soon as I know, I'm fine with doing this. I mean, this is something that has to be done. We know that. We just gotta know where we're gonna get the money from.
Yes.
Do you want to table it so we can do it?
I make the motion, we table it for 1 week and find out where we have the money to spend on it.
I'll second.
Thacker,
Aye.
Delozer,
Aye.
Helm. Motion's been carried and approved to table for 1 week.
Okay, item number 8. Discuss and possible action regarding consider and adopt a resolution appropriating certain sales tax and use tax proceeds to the Rogers County Finance Authority. Teresa, is this yours?
Actually, we received it from Mr. Joe Haney.
It's Mr. Joe Haney's.
We probably need to look at this. You wouldn't be involved in this one, would you? Since it's on the Finance Authority.
Teresa, is this the one we looked at the other day?
Yes.
What this is Mr. Joe Hanning sent a resolution on the sales tax that we passed, and he also put use tax on here. He said, and he told Teresa, the use tax always follows sales tax. No, it doesn't. Not here. In my opinion, this sales tax use tax shouldn't be on this. It's only the sales tax. And I think this is, use tax hasn't followed sales tax on the 1 cent for many, I mean, forever that I know of, we've never put the use tax on there, so. I was hoping Mr. Johanning would be here so we could find out where he was at on it.
We can table for a week and call him and ask him to be here next week and explain this.
Is that a motion?
Yes, sir.
I'll second.
Thacker,
Aye.
Delozer,
Aye.
Helm.
Aye.
Motion's been carried, the table for 1 week.
Item number 9, discussion and possible action regarding approval of new officers as elected by membership in a meeting dated 9/11/13 for the Rogers County Local Emergency Planning Committee. Chairperson Sean Douglas, Vice Chairperson Stephen Hastings, and Information Coordinator Scotty Stokes. Director Stokes?
Yes, Commissioners, this item as it talks is discussion and possible action with a heavy emphasis on discussion. We are, when we first took this position, we didn't have an active LEPC in the county, found out that it is the county commissioners oversee that operation, and it is, there are statutes stating that, but our bylaws, I don't know that there's really anything that states that you guys have to oversee who our officers are. It just says you need to make sure that there is an LAPC in the county. And we are currently doing that, but in our intent is to place in our bylaws that the Board of County Commissioners would approve of the officers within the committee. That way, you guys know kind of who's over it at times. That, like I said, heavy emphasis on discussion. Any questions you all may have, I would welcome.
Treasurer.
Treasurer is.
She's not on here.
Well, these were new, these are actually, and I apologize, we didn't leave the standing officers, which would be our treasurers, Brandy, on from OTEMS, and our secretary is Shelley from 911 addressing. And those two were not up for, we didn't move those around or up for re-election. In starting this, I was the original director, or the original chairperson for the committee. But that's not a position that's typically held by emergency management within the LAPC. I'm better used in the information officer position, and we decided that in the meeting to move that to that. It was, I was elected as the information officer for the LAPC.
Mr. Iskey, Mr. Iskey, have you looked at any of this? Because he just said he didn't know whether we had to approve it or not.
I have reviewed the statutes governing LEPCs.
Okay.
I don't immediately find anything that requires you to approve their officers. I think what you have to do is approve the membership, who you send as a member, and I honestly don't remember if you approved Scotty. I think you have.
Yes.
So it doesn't directly require you to approve it. I think at some point you may want to acknowledge who they have appointed, and I think Scotty should be commended for just, this thing has languished for years, and Scotty has just hit the ground running and drawn together a wonderful group of people to address these needs.
Certainly agree with that. Any discussion on this?
I agree with Mr. Iskey. I've come to a meeting, it's really turning into a good thing.
We want to, is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Thacker,
Aye.
Delozer,
Aye.
Helm.
Aye.
Motion's been carried and approved.
Item number 10, discussion and possible action regarding the Anago Janitorial Services proposal between Rogers County District 3 Warehouse and the Board of County Commissioners. What we did is we spoke with a cleaning company, clean all the offices at District 3. This company Don't we usually bid, don't we usually bid these services, or does this? Mr. Iskey?
Debbie Stout from your office asked me to review it. We spent probably about 2 weeks going over language, basically putting together an independent contract. I don't know what you normally do, and here is the answer as to whether or not you have to. If it's just a service, you wouldn't have to, but if you bring supplies and so forth. But I honestly don't remember whether or not you bid that. I just don't have that in mind.
Well, I guess a more accurate question would have been, is this an item that has to be bid by law, since it's a professional service?
If all he is doing is providing the service, no. If he brings and gives equipment or products, then it may have to.
Right, no, it's cleaning. I still think I'd like to bid it though, even though it's not required by law, so I'm gonna ask, I'm gonna take no action on this, at this time, because I don't wanna table it, I'm gonna go ahead and bid it.
Well, that leads me to a question.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Iskey, if they just provide the service, as long as they don't bring any supplies or into this agreement, then are we asking the same thing on item number 10 that we have to ask on item number 3?
Again, strictly a service doesn't have to be bid. It's if they would, and I'm just pulling this off the top of my head, for example, a cleaning, if they would leave toilet paper, refresh toilet paper, hand towels, and things like that. Now we're talking about a mixture of products, supplies, and that would have to be bid. Strictly a professional service does not. Now, it doesn't have to be, like Commissioner Thacker said. Can you? Is it a good idea to see what your marketplace is? Two different questions.
Well, I know that she has contacted several companies, and this one was the most responsive, it was the cheapest and all that, but, you know, let's go ahead and bid it. Does that answer your question? Item number 11, discussion possible action regarding lease purchase and related paperwork. Bid number 613, in-car MDT and camera for Sheriff's Department, awarded May the 28th, 2013 to Coban Technologies Incorporated. Status of legal review. I believe this is, did you put this on, Mr. Gloser?
May have, yes, I think, I don't know.
We're just checking to see the status of the legal review to see if it's been approved or not.
Oh, okay, now I know what you're talking, on the lease purchase?
Yes.
And you have that to the district attorney's office, correct? I think all he's doing is asking.
Well, the way it's worded, status of legal review.
I don't have a response.
Fine.
Item number 12, discussion possible action regarding amendment to commercial services agreement with Cox Business between E911 on behalf of Board of County Commissioners. Commissioner Gloser.
I couldn't find you.
This is a request to add 2 analog lines to the dispatch center at a monthly recurring cost of $40.
This is for the 911 center, for the fire alarm, and
BJ requested this, and one of the lines will be used for the fire alarm.
in our meeting last Monday, the 911 meeting that we had, BJ from Flintco said that we have to have these 2 analog lines, one for the fire department and the other just an analog line.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thacker,
Aye.
Delozer,
Aye.
Helm.
Aye.
Motion's been carried and approved.
Okay, item number 13, reimbursement and resolution 2014-38 to deposit funds of $487.50 into 81 ST 200 1 cent sales tax fund for Ottawa County, District 1.
Motion to approve. Second.
Thacker,
Aye.
Delozer,
Aye.
Helm.
Aye.
Motion's been carried and approved.
Item 14, reimbursement and resolution 2014-39 to deposit funds of $426 into 001 general fund maintenance for operations for Cone. This is the elevator maintenance. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Thacker,
Aye.
Delozer,
Aye.
Helm.
Aye.
Motion's been carried and approved.
Item number 15, reimbursement and resolution 2014-40 to deposit funds of $3,500 into 92-110 salaries for Town of Tooele mowing. Commissioner Helm.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thacker,
Aye.
Delozer,
Aye.
Helm.
Aye.
Motion's been carried and approved.
Item number 16, reimbursement and resolution 2014-41 to deposit funds of $1,647.12 into 001 account for assessor work comp dues. Motion to approve.
Second.
Thacker,
Aye.
Delozer,
Aye.
Helm.
Aye.
Motion's been carried and approved.
Item number 17, monthly report of officers for August 2013.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thacker,
Aye.
Delozer,
Aye.
Helm.
Aye.
Motion's been carried and approved.
Item number 18, county clerk's cash book and summary report for August 2013. Motion to approve.
Second.
Thacker,
Aye.
Delozer,
Aye.
Helm.
Aye.
Motion's been carried and approved.
Discussion possible action regarding 2013-14 general fund budget estimates of needs, and our budget maker is not here.
He's supposed to be here at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
If we just want to recess.
At when?
1 o'clock.
1?
We can just recess the meeting
Okay.
later.
Take no action at this time. Item number 20, announcements regarding county events and status updates. 911 Administrator, Director Hamilton.
No update.
Assessor's Office. Building and Operations. County Clerk.
Nothing to report at this time.
Court Clerk.
Nothing to report.
District Attorney's Office.
Nothing.
Election Board.
We have absentee ballots going out for an election in October. And let's see, in September, that's going out.
Okay.
October, yeah, October is going out. And then in November will be a larger election. This one's just a small one in October, but in November we'll have a good sized one that will cover most of the county because Northwest Fire has got one coming as well for November.
Emergency Management.
Yes, Commissioners.
Yes, sir.
Just wanted to remind the Commissioners that we do have safety training this week, starting Tuesday, District 1, and Wednesday and Thursday for District 2 and 3. For your people, I'll have a gentleman coming, I sent you an email on it, but a gentleman coming from NTC with a trailer coming out to do the fire extinguisher training like we did here for the courthouse last week. And also, only other thing I have is to commend the Verdigris Fire Department, Police Department, and the Sheriff's Department this weekend. Had a lost child with some health issues, and they contacted me real quick. I had the dog teams coming to help search, and they found the child before. The child was safe, unharmed, and it was a good outcome for all. So just want to commend them on that.
All right. Human Resources. Information Technology.
I don't know if this is the proper forum for this, but I'd like to address number 7 to help give you some more information about helping you find which fund to pay for the EOC voice and data. We have a dedicated fiber line running from the courthouse to 911. So the courthouse like is a backup to 911's phone system and vice versa. The jail will also, the EOC will be part of that phone system. So in a sense, it could act as a backup for 911 if their phone system was ever to go down. So I just wanted to be able to explain that to you so you have that information.
I need to clarify that, that's just for the administrative lines,
Administrative,
not the 911 lines.
Okay, thank you. Planning Commission.
Good morning. We attended the Rogers County Fair, and I want to commend our director for the OSU Extension Office for a fantastic fair this year. We had, for the first time, the Planning Commission had a booth, and we were able to distribute over 100 copies of a pamphlet and additional information from our Green Country Stormwater Alliance to the citizens and answer questions for them at that same time.
Good job, Larry. Thank you. Judicial, OSU Extension.
Like Larry said, we did have a very successful fair. It's not just our office, it's also Fair Board. Lyle Blakely is here, he's a member of our Rogers County Fair Board Association. But very successful fair, a lot of foot traffic, great weather, so couldn't ask for more.
All right, thank you. Sheriff's Office.
Yes, David Book from the Sheriff's Office. Reference, I believe it was item number 11, which was the awarded Cobain contract.
Okay, number 11.
And the wording on that may be a little squirrely. What we're basically looking for is the signature on the, so that we can begin that project. I believe it was, the legal review was for you guys as far as that contract goes. We're just trying to get that going, so.
Okay, we'll check into that. See where it's at.
I appreciate that, because I'd really like to get that program going as quick as possible.
Okay, thank you. And Treasurer's Office. Okay. Item number 22, public comments and responses from board members. Susan Wilker.
Okay, I have a number of questions. First of all, I wanted to ask about the phones for the EOC. I wanted to know if those phones needed to be bid, since they're about 14,000, I believe you guys said, or if they're part of the original contract with Presidio.
Presidio falls into the state contract as professional services, I believe how it's stated. That's how we're able to contract with them on the main courthouse.
Okay, so they weren't, that was never a bid, it was under a state bid, is that what, I just want to make sure I understand. Okay.
Yeah, state contract.
Okay, and then my second question is about the use tax and the Rogers County Finance Authority. I don't know if you guys can elaborate any, I know you had some documents from Mr. Johanning as to what his proposal was at this time. I know you wanted to table it and you're gonna discuss it, but I'm kinda curious where he's going with that as of now.
I think I have it back here. I mean, you can have, of course, you can have copies of it and read it over if you. Here, that's yours. He asked for an agenda item, and all it says is consider and adopt resolution appropriating certain sales and use tax proceeds to the Rogers County Finance Authority. I think we were in agreement that we needed to look at this, and we need him to come in and explain what it is that he's.
Is that regarding the 1/8, I don't know if it's 1/8 of a percent or 1/8 of a penny or whatever we voted on in the last election, I have to look at my notes. But that was on the roads and bridges tax measure, is that what this is regarding?
Yeah,
It says right here, 8%.
that's what it's regarding. But when he threw in the part about use tax following sales tax and some things there, I'm unclear on it. I think everyone was unclear up here, so we'll talk to him.
Is October 1st the day that rolls over, that you guys actually start collecting for this bond, or I'm sorry, for this vote?
Yeah, October 1st, I believe is the renewal date.
And will he be the one helping you guys set up the sub accounts or whatever you have to do to dedicate part of your funds, your 1 cent funds to pay that?
Yes.
Teresa. Would he be the one to help set it up?
Well, actually, the resolution would direct that 1/8 cent to go to the finance authority, and so the treasurer would, by that resolution, send the money directly to the authority, which in turn pays the judge.
He's the one that, the attorney is the one that wrote the resolutions, and so yeah, he helps direct the way that is calculated, the way it's collected, all those things.
So the way that you guys collect your money now, the treasurer's office just puts whatever that sales tax is into an account, so I'm assuming that she'll take the 1/8 off the top, and then whatever's left would be divided among the 3 districts then? Is that how it will work? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then, on the LEPC, I wanted to see if, Director Stokes could speak to the, if their checking account issue ever got resolved from earlier in the year where, weren't really sure who had that account and how much money was in there, and
That's actually a good question. Mr. Stokes, would you come up?
I think we discussed that in the meeting, you may not have been here, but the account was found, I was never allowed access to whose name was on it or anything. What we did whenever we established the LEPC, we established a formal committee, through all the means that we had ability of. We held a meeting, we voted on treasurer and the membership in the original meeting, and then took those minutes, correct, we took those minutes over to the bank and showed them that we had changed membership within the committee and showed them the minutes of the meeting, and then they assigned the account over to us. So LAPC now has control of that account.
do you have any idea how much is in there?
Yeah, there was, when we originally got it, there was right at $2,600. I can give you the exact amount, but about $2,600 that was in there.
Just for clarity, would you explain who or what entity would not allow you access to that account?
The original, when we first started, the bank.
The bank
Yeah.
would not allow access.
Yeah, it was held as a private account. It was under local emergency planning committee. When we actually voted this week, we're changing it to Rogers County Local Emergency Planning Committee to make sure it's stated as which emergency management, which local emergency planning committee it actually belongs to, so it's not general. But the bank would not allow us because it was held as a private account.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
I have another question, not for you though, thank you though, Mr. Stokes. This one is for human resource, on the system that you guys were looking at purchasing. If you could clarify for me, is that a system that's going to be used in-house by the payroll clerk, or is this to actually send payroll out to be like subcontracted or something?
Jenny, do you want to tell how that
It's
works?
an in-house system.
Okay, so our payroll clerk will use, I'm sorry?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And, I know what my last question was, sorry. On the vendor access to the courthouse, I think last week there was some discussion about how there weren't going to be any vendors that had access to the building with key cards. They were just for employees and state employees that were housed in the building, and the OHP. I believe those were the only people that were named. So I'm kind of curious if there was a change in the policy, and if vendors are going to be permitted to have access, has that changed your position any on external law enforcement agencies?
He would be employed by the state of Oklahoma if he's contracted to them. But we tabled that because we wanted the judge to send us some information in writing, what he's asking for, what this company does, so.
Well, you guys had said that the exterminators have access to the building, so who are they
No.
employed by?
The undersheriff said they had access to the building. That's the first I heard of it. Though, like I said, we've been lenient in some of these areas, and some people have taken advantage of it. And so now we have to, in a sense, crack down and make it exactly to follow the policies without error.
Do you mind if I ask a question to Director Bays? Is that okay?
No.
How does the exterminator get in the building right now?
So currently they come exterminator comes in, usually they come back through the sheriffs because they like to let them know typically, it's my understanding. So the first couple of times they came through, you know, they've been covering the old courthouse for years, our county buildings for years. They have access to those buildings, they go over to the jail. But whenever they come in here, they come in the back, they typically check in with the sheriffs, and then they come through here and spray the building.
So they don't have key cards?
They come in right through the back door here.
So they do have a
No.
key card? Or they don't have a key card?
No, they have a exterior door key
They have a door key?
on the back.
Okay.
And they come through the sheriff's office?
I believe they come through, it's either y'all's door here they come through, or it's a sheriff's door.
They'll come through ours.
I believe it's a sheriff's down here. That's where we came in the 2 times I've been with them.
Okay, so I guess my question would be, if they're authorized to have a key,
It sounds like what we need to do is cut that off too until.
We gave them a key?
yeah, who gave them a key?
That's a good
And-
question. I'm
and-
glad you asked.
Thank you.
No, that one falls to me too. So, whenever we first came in here, before we moved into the courthouse, we actually sprayed the courthouse beforehand, so I came up here, we come in at midnight, and I've done that twice with them. So as far as having an exterior door key, yes, that's my fault.
Is there anybody else that has exterior door keys besides employees that work in the building that are county employees or state employees? No, there's nobody else? Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Does he also spray the election board?
Yes.
Okay. Or they, I don't know what it is.
Are there any other public comments?
Yeah, I have one. When are you guys going to let the Claremore PD have access to this courthouse?
It's not on the agenda today.
Well, you had it on the agenda last week.
That's right, that was last week.
Okay, so no comment on that?
It's not on the agenda. Mr. Iskey, do you want to explain the law on talking about the agenda, items that are on the agenda versus what we can discuss?
Open Meetings Act requires you to post a written agenda of the items that you intend to discuss. It has to be listed.
So it's not a no comment, we just won't talk about it, it's not on the agenda. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
As it regards the exterminator and the cleaning crews, people like that, to me, it would be wiser to give these people a key card. Then you would have a digital record that would identify them personally. And that would alleviate the problem of someone like Ryan having to let the exterminator in. You know what I'm saying? That would identify that person. I don't know.
And that's why we're tabling this and looking at it rather than jumping, just jumping up there and approving or not approving.
That way you would know exactly, if you, I mean, if they have a contract with this county to do exterminating, you give it to them, that way you have a record, you know when they came, when they left. That's why you have a digital system, it seems to me.
That's right.
Okay.
I agree. And this gentleman back here was.
I'm Lyle Blakely with Fairboard.
Hey, sir, if you would give your name for the other ones they know is the only reason.
I'm Lyle Blakely with the Roger County Fairboard. Not to sound redundant, but I'd also like to thank Donna and her entire staff for what we've done. But I'd like to expand a little bit and take a minute to brag on our youth. We did, for many of you might have seen the fireworks. First year for the fireworks, second year for the carnival, live entertainment. But more importantly, our youth. I think all the exhibits were either flat or up. I know goats was at 101, almost doubled. We have 76 in our premium sale. That's goats, hogs, sheep, and cattle. And an example of those kids, and to tell you how fierce the competition is in here in our county, and we're very fortunate with our commissioners and our extension staff. We had OSU, Northeastern Oklahoma, A&M, and Connors, all 3 college teams, come to our county to work out with our kids, our youth. I say kids, we had 9 to 18-year-olds. Our youth animals, and a little bit of history. There's 20-some county fairs going on this week. They chose to come here. OSU was national champions last year. 3 out of the last 4 years they've been national champions. Connors and NEO are consistent in the top 5 in the nation. So they come here to see our kids' animals. And if you go to the Tulsa State Fair, you'll always see Rogers County kids. And they sell 75 steers. Normally we have 5 or 6. When you take all the counties and put them together, our percentage is pretty good. So I'd like to brag on our youth. Our premium sale is here tonight at 7. If anyone would like to come out, we'd certainly like to see you come out and support our youth.
Just to expand on that, we have lists of those kids that have gotten into the premium sale in our office. So if you'd like to help support those kids, we have that list available.
Lon, can you get back up and tell how this county fair is able to be funded?
The county fair is funded through the county commissioners, through a property tax, and we are very fortunate to have that support from our citizens and our county commissioners. The fair is also funded, now the Rogers County, the premium sale is a premium sale committee that is separate from the fair board. And the reason for that is it is a select group of kids. It's our best kids. So that is a committee that's formed. They do a wonderful job. We also receive some revenue from the carnivals. We are able, we currently have Lisa, just got married, with the Visitors and Convention Bureau, I believe that's what that is. We're helping us with our indoor booths. This year we were full. No booth space left available. One of the things, if you went in the expo, you see in front all of the kids' exhibits, and that's something we are now limited on space. And when we will not, I mean, this current board will not give up space for our kids for a commercial booth. But we think they are important to have and as a draw, just the same as the live entertainment. So it is listed on your property tax free fair for those of you that actually read down through it. Very, very minimal, but we're fortunate. All 9 board members are all volunteer. All 9 board members, I think, started on Sunday with the help of the expo staff and converted that facility into, if any of you was out there, converted it from the Bluegrass Agility Festival to be ready to take entries. We actually opened the day earlier. You didn't let me stand up, I'll take more time. We actually opened the day earlier. This year, the public was allowed in the exhibit buildings on Thursday. That took a commitment from all of our inside exhibitors, the ladies that run the food and the canning and the clothing and the antiques, because that has to be judged and placed, and it took a huge commitment from them to get them judged before the public was able to come in. Several changes happening in the last couple of years, and it's attributed to all our volunteers and Donna staff for sure. But all these superintendents you see out there are volunteers. We are right now trying to, if you went to the fair, you've seen the inside of the expo hall. I would just challenge you to come tonight. We're trying to put together a time-lapse video to be played tonight. Those 76 selected youth, even though I told you how competitive they are, I mean, we have really good animals. They came together yesterday afternoon at 2 o'clock. The outside barn is completely disassembled except for the pins for the animals that's in the premium sale. The expo hall itself, if you remember how full of booths, was completely cleared, completely cleaned out. A sale arena set up, mats put down, shades put down, 3 risers set up, and a food area for the buyers that'll be there tonight. And we're trying to put together, hopefully tonight, to have some type of slideshow, time-lapse video of these kids working. They did it on their own. The 76 kids come together. We had 9-year-olds pulling shavings, 2 within arms and slings. It was working. We tried to find a place for the kids that had hurt shoulders to work. So they're not only are they competitors, they're very best friends, and it's astounding. In about 3.5 hours, that complete building was clean and reset. So and what it means to them to be in that premium sale, we actually have kids that show up that miss the premium sale. They come to help. So usually we'll have 100 kids there, but those 76, they are required to be there. I will say that. But once we started that about 6 years ago, requiring them, and now it means something for them to be there. And when I say kids that show up extra, that's not siblings. That's you know, just other kids that showed an animal and missed. And it is, it's worth money to them to be in the premium sale. We have one of the better premium sales in the state of Oklahoma.
Well, thank you very much, appreciate that. And did you say you had one more?
I did, actually.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, I have 2 questions. The longer I sit here, the more I think of things, so. The vendor that has the access, or any vendors that you guys provide access, I'm curious if they have been background checked, and if so, by whom, and what that procedure is. That's one question.
That's a good question, and the ones that we have provided access to have been 0. We don't let people in here. That's why we're going through this whole issue, is to find out who's coming and going, and whether or not, I mean, they have background checks, whether, I mean, there's insurance. I mean, we're trying to keep the county from having this liability, and, you know, I don't think we'll try to make a decision faster just to please someone. I think we'll look at it. Now that we know, that's what we're doing. We're looking at who's coming in.
So the ones that have already been in the building, they haven't been checked? I mean, that's...
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Does anyone else, I mean, I don't know if there's anyone else that would know, do you know?
Not that I'm aware of.
We don't do background checks on, but I mean, they are contracted, so we go through the paperwork and they have their insurance.
And they would have, like, with the exterminators, for example, they would have access to every room in the courthouse, correct?
No.
No? When they spray, what do they?
No, they can't have access to every room in the courthouse, no. They do main halls. And then now, if we have an area where we have a problem, I come in, like we had a little patch of fleas that got in here. They came back with me with blocking the area, which is also something that can't be done during the day.
I guess I would open up my next question. If they have a key to get in the building, an exterior door key, but they don't have a key card, how would they even get into any, I mean, to spray? Because most of the hall, I mean, I see they get halls, but all the offices would be
big thing we spray
locked.
is exterior, and then the hallways. What you're trying to do is you set up a perimeter for the bugs, and that's what kills them, is the perimeter.
Okay.
And Ryan won't be letting anyone else in. Until we've been.
No, I think we covered that. We're gonna.
I think we've covered that.
Oh, I know what it was. I remember my last question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. On the sheriff's item, the bid from bid 613 from May 28th, I just wanted to know if that bid is still good, if it has expired, if they'll have to rebid, and if you guys have any kind of timeline on when that purchase could be.
I received an email, and Coban had been interacting with Under Sheriff Sappington, and they said the bid was still good. Is that correct?
The bid is technically expired, however, they stated they would still honor that price. So as long as we can honor that price, based on what I've been told by the purchasing group.
Okay, so, I'm sorry, but that prompted another question. So if the bid is technically expired, even though they're willing to honor it, does the state statute require that they rebid it because it's an expired bid, or not?
That's a legal question.
That's a legal question. You may not be able to answer it, but.
Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you what the statute says. On the length of time for a bid, I think we've allowed vendors in the past, I think, if they would honor the bid, but I'm not sure that there's a statute that says how long that can be. I just don't know off the top of my head.
Because most of the time what they'll do is they'll say this bid is good until a certain date. That is their cutoff. That's not, do what?
Well, that's what they've done in this instance. They had like July 19th or something, but that's their date.
Right.
And so if they're willing to extend their date, then we accept them. If they say that their date is moved forward, they'll accept what we got now, then they're changing their own date, so.
Right.
I'm sorry, but
We're gonna have to shut her down here in a minute.
I
Go
know,
ahead.
but I got one more question, and the beeping tape recorder is what prompted it. I know that you guys have voted to keep those tapes, but I noticed that sometimes when she has to change a tape, that the meeting proceeds, so I was kind of curious if there's going to be anything done to make sure that that part of the meeting has been recorded.
Gonna have to change the tapes faster, I guess. I mean,
I
the
just
the
said what I
reason we voted
noticed.
to keep those tapes was so that if someone wanted to hear them, wanted to have copies of them, I don't believe they're required by law to keep those tapes. That's something that we did a long time ago, just for transparency's sake. And, you know, they can read the minutes, they can always catch it on YouTube. I mean, there are records of these things that, no, we're not gonna stop just to, while she changes the tape. Any other questions? Mr.
I
Flood?
finally have one. Algae flood.
Yes, sir.
What has caused the delay on the accepting the bid on the radios?
I don't know.
I mean, if it was awarded May 28th?
Nelson's may know.
The award was the bid was awarded to Coban. When you award a bid, they're responsible for their own financing, okay? They've changed the person that's gonna finance us about 3 times. And that's been the problem. They they changed it approximately I think it's 3 different times, where they weren't able to acquire the finance, so they went to another place, and they went to another place, and now they're another place. That's what's caused the most of the delay.
Understandable.
Okay. All righty. Item number 23, payment of purchase orders from all departments.
We got a lot of help. Oh, is that right?
He told me he wasn't the one that
So I can tell my notes from the last
You know, I have those cards, and those key cards been good. If somebody loses, my deal, see how long is.
Yeah, she said just sign it.
If you give it to somebody,
And she's been
Project manager last year, then he hired the superintendent away.
Okay, what about
let's put our house, this may be our house. Exterior, long weekend, a lot of traveling.
Why did it get? So I mean, a lot of folks in the show.
I think the longer it goes, the less.
Remember Wyman Jackson? Billy Jack, I call her Billy Jack. Is that right? Yeah. I like it. Is that right? Yeah. Bob Adams.
Oh, John Dockett was.
Well, that's not
I know that was John. That's looking a little older and a little heavier than he used to be, but. I did that.
Well, we would always make the track. I was like a lot. Well, somebody
Okay, then you're gonna have to have a record. In other words, if you, somebody comes and do something, then you need to, there need to be a notification system that, hey, I'm letting this person in on my use. There's gotta be something.
We are.
Well, they say there's a lot going on right now, but they want
I don't know, I've been accused of, let's see, what'd you do with the money your mom gave you?
That was what I found out.
For whistling?
Oh, there you go. That's funny.
But I'm just saying, here's what I'm saying, you know, if I need something, and I ask for sure, and you don't want him to then maybe she needs something, and so, I'm trying to let, I mean, I don't know how you can. I understand what you're saying, I got it, but I'm just saying.
Kirk, I know you've had this discussion, if somebody lost a key card, what was the cost of it?
The replacement cost.
Replacement cost, it wasn't that much, was it?
No, it's, yeah, it's
Huh?
about $5.
Yeah.
It was actually under $5.
Hey.
Meeting of the yard birds.
No. Yes, yes.
And I said, thank you for you.
How you doing? Well, I just walked by and I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, not so low. Paris.
officer's job, he's in and out.
Yes, that's right.
Friday. He's my immediate boss. I took one so
And not asking the question, I'll be here right now. So which one? For the budget.
Absolutely.
Yes,
yes.
But it doesn't tell words on it. Words on it, yours is like, right?
Hey, Gina, do you have a key card with you? They wanna see what it's like.
Does it say Rogers County Courthouse? Does it say Rogers County Courthouse? Does it have text on it? Is it plain and white? So nobody would know what that was. There's nothing that says Rogers County. Okay, did she put your name on there?
No, I think Jenny did.
Okay, but down the bottom, there's just nothing.
yeah, so it
Okay,
does.
that's good.
I know
There's
mine didn't say
nothing.
Kurt
There's
Thacker.
no writing.
No, there's, and on the back, it's complete.
That's
So you don't have to swipe it like a magnet.
Because
that's the way mine.
Because I was thinking, it's like a credit card, it's just your credit card, or, you know, it's like, say, I had one of those because I'm employed and I lost it, then I notify them, and they disabled the card.
All we have to do is tell her, she just.
Right, that's what I'm saying, it should be disabled immediately, right?
Well, I'm in now. Be good.
Oh, and I would like to get a copy of Joe Henning's paperwork. I don't know where Teresa went, I was gonna ask her. The copy of whatever Joe Henning's got. Hang on a second, let me read the
Christine, can I take your order, or take it there if you want to?
Yeah, I don't mind taking mine.
Pardon?
I don't mind taking mine. I don't need someone to. I know you are.
We go all the way down to Duncan, stayed there and did the family reunion thing, and she,
She's a couple.
Deer season open October 1st?
Oh, yes, that's right. They are, so they're in Underwood. Slaying on Tuesday.
didn't you shoot one last year?
I did, it was a buck.
Didn't you shoot Bambi's, and didn't you shoot a fawn out from under its mama bull in the nursery? Isn't that the picture I saw?
Still have milk on its mouth.
It was tasty.
She was so,
Oh,
I know
it
that.
was so good.
Do you do your own butchery?
Hey, I gutted that one myself.
That doesn't surprise me.
So,
Right.
No, now do you go up around Stark?
That's for my aunt. But see, that my aunt got, well, Callie put the balloon on it. So they, my aunt Callie got a picture of my deer on her Christmas card from my mother, so we actually temporarily made so it's.
They banned you because you shot such a little deer?
Yeah, she wasn't happy about it. I'm sorry, Aunt Callie, if you watch my YouTube, I really, I didn't know, it was the bigger of the two,
How'd you like some love for your YouTube?
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, he made bond, so, yes, oh, got copies for me. But I'm going to get a buck this year. I know. And I'm gonna have it mounted.
How much did last year's buck dress out? 28 pounds?
7 ounces.
Yeah.
I can promise you weighed about 28, because it was heavy. I carried it out.
One charcoal load.
Yeah, after you gutted it, after you did the whole thing, what did it feel dress? 30
If they had
pounds?
boned it out, there wouldn't have been.
She was so proud. She came in here. I
just saw that was one.
Oh, speaking of chickens, I think I told you, two of our chickens have met their mortal end. No, my dog.
Dawn, you use the treasure.
No, he's my precious chicken.
No, I mean, I used to do it. That's the end of the dog.
I went out yesterday, I had one in
Well, these are city chickens, these are not farm chickens, so there are some casualties expected.
Yeah.
If you live in the city and you choose to have chickens. We're down to two. You're allowed to have up to, I think it's 12.
I bet you can't have a rooster.
Oh, I think you can actually.
Really? I figured.
As long as your building for them is so far away, like 50 feet away. No, my doesn't want a rooster.
I was,
I take one to eat.
gonna butcher one last night. Butcher ate them last night. Next weekend, our meat chickens weigh, they weigh right at 3 pounds. So this coming weekend, they're meeting their demands. I've got an idea. Bought one of those vacuum packers. Have you ever used one of those?
Yeah, we have one.
Does it work good?
Yes, it does. That's actually, I want some deer meat from last year, it's still in the freezer. Exactly.
Do you make some of your deer meat into jerky?
Dude, but I haven't been very successful with it.
Gotta have enough.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Sorry, son.
Oh, that's funny, Danny, but my husband didn't kill a big deer and have jerky, but I didn't do it right, so.
Oh, did he get one last year?
Thank goodness. The little kids were starting to deer meat. Fall on.
Not this year. I'm gonna get the big one. That's right, and I'm gonna have it mounted, and he's gonna look at it every time he goes to the house and know his wife.
Who do you get to?
Who am I gonna get to mount? I don't know.
There's a guy.
I might go to Shrums, or I might go to, I have a buddy from high school.
Where I had our last one. Get that guy.
There's 3 of them, Joe.
Oh, you know one.
Pod check.
You said you knew one. Yeah. Well, I gotta find one.
Go to Shrubs. Dirty Century, it's released.
I gotta kill it first. I'll worry about where I'm gonna take it after.
Contact the patient.
Right now, I gotta go bring him a hunt. That's my priority.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to kill a deer
Without a hunt.
without a hunting license.
And your tag. And you attack him immediately. You gotta follow the rules.
Not if you have a lifetime.
Well, I don't have a lifetime.
Dude, I haven't killed one since they changed it. I haven't killed one since I haven't killed one since I became commissioner. I don't have time to kill.
I haven't shot anything.
Oh, come on now, go between midnight and 6 a.m.
Then you get in trouble for shooting. And Kim Henry's husband comes to see you.
Hey, you know, that's when you know you have problems, though. When you're deer tag.
Hey, that's Christmas.
Deer.
You know,
That's Christmas forever.
you had to bait a wire north lady, didn't you?
Put it around its neck like a dog collar.
He'll probably shoot a big one. My brother-in-law shot a huge one over in Bristow. This 14 point.
Wow.
It was a monster.
I did not know this. I'm hoping. It's my year. Lucky 13.
Do you just rifle or do you bow?
Oh, I bow hunt.
Do you crossbow? or
I crossbow.
Do you?
I can't pull back a compound bow very well. I don't have one that's the right poundage and. But my husband's gonna make me a longbow, like a reefer.
A longbow? Yeah.
He just made one with his uncle up in New York when he went, and he's gonna make one for me next
You
year.
make it out of hickory?
No, out of Bodart.
Bodart?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's gotta cut the tree down this year and let it season until next year.
Yellow woods.
That is quite a skill.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, to make a longbow, I mean, it's, sure enough, a good quality bow, that's a skill.
That's just for the big deer shot Walmart.
Yeah. getting a bear tag. But it's like $100 and some odd dollars to hunt bear.
Around here?
Down in towards Salisbury. I got a place down there to go. But
They've got one few of them down there.
it's expensive. So I guess I'll just stick with turkey and deer. I'm gonna get my turkey tag.
You wanna talk about hunting, Steve Rumsey, you know, from Glencoe? He brought us pictures of his, of one of his hunts he went on. I think he killed a baboon.
Went to Africa.
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't really want to eat baboon, and I only kill what I
think
eat.
that, I don't
He
think
said
that.
they didn't eat it.
Yeah, I can't kill something just to kill it.
All the meat goes to the locals.
I'm tender-hearted like that. I have to use what I can kill.
Do you ever kill varmints?
No,
You don't kill possums?
no,
Never?
never. I went rabbit hunting one time with my dad when I was a kid, and all I shot was a turtle, because I couldn't kill anything else, and then I felt really bad about it. So,
You might not believe this, but I'm the same way. Except for varmints. With them, or because they kill our chickens.
yeah. Now, if there was a snake in my yard, I'd kill it, but I don't have snakes.
What's the difference in a snake and a...
I'm just scared of them, that's the only problem.
Change stuff. Our computer's messed up. Where you got it?
Two different places. One seat, store,
Well, hey, did you check out those, I don't know if you probably didn't read the paper yesterday, but I wrote a story about the budget. I wrote a story about the budget. And, well, kind of quoted you, I didn't put the whole sentence in, about when you were saying that pay raises are gonna be all or none.
Who said that?
You did. Like, about 2 weeks ago, whenever that last budget meeting was, that was all day long. Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, I'm kind of wondering what the employees are going to bring to you guys this afternoon. I'm not asking you a question
I
about
think I was making a point, we'd like to get them pay raises. But,
yeah, they haven't had them in like, what, 6 or 7 years? Five?
since 2008.
Yeah. I think this, I think it's gonna be one of those deals where in the next few years, the cost of living is going to be off. So, it'll be interesting to see what you guys
There's two
think.
ways to look at that. There's a lot of people out there that'll say, and they're right, they haven't had a pay raise since 2008 either.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, when they went to Quick Trip, and they let them get it.
Well, I don't know, I can't figure that out.
Hey, did you see my Green Bay Packers had a record-breaking day yesterday?
I saw that. Did you see my Dallas Cowboys got beat by 1 point?
You mean the Cowgirls? I mean, the Cowboys. I'm just
It's
kidding.
only wrong.
He is terrible. Why don't they get rid of him already?
You know what I put on,
Never hit the name of the charge.
we had two.
We know, but here's what happened.
Oh, Stephanie.
We got guys.
As soon as that game was over, I put on Facebook a picture of Obama. He's on the phone. He says, yes, Tony Romo. Toby is covered by Obamacare.
Poor guy, he needs a different team or something, I don't know. But I tell you what, Kansas City's gonna be the team to watch this year. I really think they are. They're up and coming, Kansas City.
I like Kansas City, they just don't play yesterday.
Yeah.
The rest of the year, and I like Green Bay. Those are my three favorite, well, and Detroit.
Oh, they're the dirtiest team ever.
Well,
They play dirty.
they're horrible now. The reason I like Detroit is because Barry Sanders went and played for them. You know, I have no issue with them. That's, otherwise I wouldn't like them at all.
I was watching the Peterson interview on
Yeah, wasn't that
101.
good?
That was fantastic.
Yeah, he is a
I really
class
like
act.
him, and I'm not a big OU fan, but I like him.
He's a classic guy.
Yeah, it should be noted.
You know, he spends an hour all the time signing autographs.
I know, it's not, and he actually talks to people. I thought it was really great. I wanted him to come to Green Bay and play.
Yeah, he's.
If we had Aaron Rodgers and Peterson, we would be like unstoppable. If we had, was Adrian his first name, Peterson?
I appreciate it.
Yeah, if we had Adrian and Aaron Rodgers, if we had the best running back and the best quarterback, we'd be unstoppable. Even for old Kaepernick and the 49ers, they just have to get some of their own medicine.
My son was not having a good day yesterday.
Maybe they brought him into the bank or something. He must be a big Cowboys fan.
But his weekend wasn't a bust because O-State beat Lamar, Texas. You know, I got on Facebook and said, you want Colorado? Someone had said, where's that at? I said, Colorado. I thought, what? Why not?
Sleep deprivation.
No, I'm sleeping like a baby. Wake up kicking, crying and screaming every 20 minutes.
Well, here's the problem, I just had one cylinder out, but while I had it tore down, I had a couple that was about 8 to 10 degrees. Not degrees, but 8 to 10 pounds of pressure difference on the cylinders. So I just had them, while I had, wouldn't cost me any labor to put them all.
Yeah, you got it tore down, but I'm sure rebuild it.
No, it didn't bust a lot, and that's why we were wrecking. And it's about,
We just had to order.
And out and.
I don't know, I didn't ask him.
Although it's not.
We got Terry a new one, because he was at 3/4 ton, he was using too much fuel. Because he drives more than anybody else, you know. So we put him in a half-ton truck, put the 3/4 ton out there full of trailers and loads and stuff.
Ryan needs to pick up, so I'm gonna give him mine.
Man, those new F-150s are smooth riding.
I thought it's not doing folders anymore.
well,
Yeah, electric windows.
I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
It's just as quick to sort them after they
Yeah,
sign
that
them.
little half-ton Ford's really good with fuel.
She decided, rather than try to keep up with it. You know, kind of have to make sure they. No, we just. Because before, you know, we had, there was no right one.
See what it is, no more NAIA. Oh, she.
Well,
He said you had, they're not gonna schedule anymore NAIA.
Who's that?
Oh, she.
Waste of time.
I'm gonna schedule it.
it was like 60.
NAIA game, or Division II, you know.
OSU or more.
I thought he was talking about extension.
Where is it?
Or is it Lamar, Texas?
It's Lamar, Texas, but somebody, there's a Lamar, Colorado too. And I actually took in a bunch of cattle one time for a little while. And so I had Lamar, Colorado on the brain. No, when they were having a big drought, he sent down a couple of cows, you know, because we had grass and they did, it's about 10 years ago. But someone asked me on Facebook, where is Lamar? And I put, Lamar, Colorado. Never even, I mean, it was just on my brain, and someone got back on there and said, hey, I hate to correct you, but this is Lamar, Texas. I'm like, no kidding. And I go, why did he say that? And I read back, I said, Colorado.
Well, how about, hey, Michigan almost got beaten by Akron.
Yeah.
Hey, now, the reason we can do made is, not fine, these ones are not fine. It's when the claim time, you have to report the travelers. Borough has to get the travelers and travelers. Because it's not a place where you can automatically, because it's, I'll show you. It's right here. But I'll tell you something, I know that. Clerk, listen, we can't do this, we can't do this. Okay, these claims, okay, they'll call, Burroughs has to go to Travelers comes in, and then they tell us whether or not they're gonna charge us. So it can't be fired. We did not know it, we can feel it. They don't call back and say, hey, we're gonna charge you.
I'll point that out. Sonia,
I'll tell her.
Travelers.
Yeah. Hey, you got your own space. You don't need to start.
Let me say shut up to you too.
Yeah, you don't need your space.
I didn't want to say shut up to you on YouTube.
I think I'm gonna go. Yeah, you know. Yeah, you know.
It seems like it keeps coming up.
We're signing you from the north.
Until the very end.
Where's Sonia at? She's supposed to be down here keeping this in order.
I think she's getting a new computer today, hers is trying to crash.
That's right.
It happens. Girls.
Girl took off. I didn't, and she set them out, so I didn't know she had any on Friday. And it turned in Monday.
It happens.
That world rotates.
Getting close now, that's a big one. There'll be a few.
Yes, yes. Well, it kind of reminds me of the big statue.
Hey Danny, so your 911 center's about done, huh?
Yep.
When do I get to take a tour? I can't do it today.
Won't have time today.
Yeah,
Anytime you want.
okay. I think I'm supposed to be off on Wednesday, so maybe tomorrow, Wednesday.
You guys be doing that. I was just gonna, you know, I think
Did everybody get rain? Lugal and Chelsea and Viola? Did you get rain?
Not when I left this morning.
Really?
It had rain again, it's just light, it's dark.
About 4:30, I think we changed it.
I got all the wheat planting, most of the wheat planting done, and, well, if it'll be a little rain on it, man,
It looks like it's gonna be different.
well, last year,
No, he said,
and there's chance that, 3 days later, it rained just real slow, and I mean, just, no rain.
yeah, he said it is.
Yeah, I grazed it out, and then, like some years, if it was, depends if it's good weather, pull the steers off, most of the time I just graze it out.
My dad had 240 acres, look, you see all my look, this is black. And, every fall, he buy about 600 steers, on it. So in my February, every year,
And then grow wheat on out combine it.
yeah, he's about that.
Oh, I graze mine on the way up in. I mean, depending on the weather, you know, just
Well, I know, but
raises out.
as many as he had, they had a pretty.
Yeah, they didn't have much left, did they?
Did you get rain?
You know, it didn't rain come in.
Oh,
Matter of fact, I parked my vehicle and started walking in before it started raining today. But I saw like towards 8 there, it was lightning, you know, looking like. They were walking there.
Yeah, it started about 4:30 at the house.
And, we didn't get any in tonight, but, Teresa said, it rained over there.
And she said it rained all the way.
Well, I could tell it was raining back that way, I didn't know it was that far.
Oh, I know.
From where I was looking out, I could tell like 8 there, was getting hammered, lightning.
yeah.
Back over that corner of the lake.
Yeah, she hears
That was a 3-month bid. We've only got one bid, it's 3 months. And it's laid asphalt. We bid it in 3 months. All of our other big bids were 6 months.
What's the deal with this HR system, with the payroll? What's that gonna do? Don't you guys have something already to do payroll
We used it
with?
twice.
How have they been doing it?
Or just, I don't know that much about it. I think it does a lot of other things like,
They shot all the
Keeps track of
insulation
time.
in the ceiling. And I
you
got
know,
down
when
there
you're walking
looking.
in and out.
Are they gonna get time clocks? Cause right now everybody just handwrites their time.
Well, they won't have to if they get that.
Installation machine back, you have to put up that
Well,
$250.
they have to check in somehow on their computer.
Yeah, when you
All
log
the
in.
back to give it back.
I mean, I'm not sure, and so I don't really know
Well,
much
it
about
might
it.
do things like consultation, sick days.
So is Jenny gonna be in charge of payroll then, instead of clerk?
Fiberglass, they shot at the ceiling.
Cause I thought that was, if it's a human resources software, but you guys are using it, which office is gonna pay for it?
I really don't know anything about it, except
Do you know,
that.
Robin?
You know anything about that system?
Well, we're just gonna work together on it. I know she's been in there working with you guys. It's a timekeeping system mainly. And then it would, depending on, we just have to look at it, see what it does.
I understand that it saved Oklahoma County, about $500,000 a year.
Oh, what, for people not
Well, they
sheriff's
pay
department?
Yeah, just in the sheriff's office.
They pay your
And of course, Oklahoma County is
huge.
huge.
Don't they pay your bills
Yeah.
and say, look, just for example, if we got 300 bills today at 46 cents, not that long,
That works.
and all,
So you're sending it out to somebody else to write the checks then?
not right now, no.
No, I mean, this system would be sending it out. I don't think it has anything to do with that.
No, I think it sends it to the treasurer somehow.
I don't know, I mean,
Yeah, I don't know the
I'm
system.
not, sure what it does, but
But it figures, it calculates the time better.
I think you guys should go to keep, like, make them swipe in.
Swipe in, sorry, yawning. I think all the employees should have to punch in a key, when they clock in and clock out. That's what the schools use.
Well, I know at District 3, all the guys punched time cards. They didn't like it, but they punch them. And around here, I don't know, each office is different.
What you gave us was real helpful. It's very helpful. I need you to have, yeah, I need you to have Robin or somebody do me a full plat of that line area, because this is the south half of the northeast east, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So if you could just have somebody get me this expanded so I can see, that is extremely helpful.
I think he just found it. Okay. And so he brought it to me this morning.
Well, if you can have Robin or somebody,
You heard it.
Talking about Robert Page, isn't he?
Yeah.
This is good sleeping weather.
I was gonna ask, but I'm not sure that it was Robert Page.
It's the page.
I'm sitting on my hands, it's so cold.
No. It seems like sometimes it's too warm. Other times it's too cool.
It's cool in here.
It's cool.
Yes. Well, they claim some of those. They can't get them. They're cut off. They can't get to them. And then they said the truck and the helicopter rescue, but it's still raining and you can't do helicopter rescues in the rain. So, you know,
Nelson, I got a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I didn't know. So, no, we're not signing it.
Did you happen to notice that my Green Bay Packers had a record-setting day yesterday?
No, I didn't notice. I did notice that, Texas got beat again. I think they'll fire that Brown Steers out with them.
I agree.
They'll do that to,
He'll be on my Christmas.
I think so, because they need to, one of the things that's killing them is that they can't go out and recruit. And as long as he's the head coach,
Ain't gonna happen.
it ain't gonna happen.
And I think on the, other people that are likely to lose their job or get benched, we're gonna add RG3 to that list. If he loses the next game, he's getting ready to sit out. He's too afraid he's gonna get re-injured. He's lost his spark.
Edwin Peterson's good.
He's amazing.
He's just a class act, class guy.
I like him, I wish I could play for Packers. My wife's never seen no Vikings.
You know, we gotta get Sam Bradford some help. He's the one that's hurting right now. He needs some help. He's a lot of help.
We're just about there.
I know it. But,
What do you do? I can get
Stop yawning today, what does that mean? Sweater. I'm gonna go to the Boomerang and have lunch. It's half price burger day. Oh, somebody left their umbrella back there. I think Aaron left her.
She's at the home.
So I hear that they posted on Facebook how many signatures they have. The grand jury petitioners.
Really? I don't think so. I mean, they may have,
I haven't seen it myself.
I haven't seen it. I got a private message on it, but I didn't get it. Unless it was done to the other.
So we are going to take kids to Incredible Pizza this week for a birthday, for their birthdays. So Mary's inviting a couple of friends. So I went online and reserved the party. It's like $250 for 10 kids. Is that not crazy? I wish we had some place in Claremont.
I'll tell you, what place, they do birthdays too, is, the girls' place museum over there.
What about that? I said we need
They throw birthday parties there, you can get up in an F-16, get your picture made, I mean, walk around, they'll take you over to the, observation deal.
Sure, that's great. That would be cool. I bet my kids would like that. Alger, where were you talking about having birthday parties?
Aerospace Museum over in Tulsa.
Do they really?
Yep, oh yeah. Yeah. I haven't been over there lately, but I've been over there and they do, you can do parties there.
Wow, they did put it on this cheap.
What's that?
Where is he, Jenny?
That's the price.
And what is he doing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And that little girl's cute, but I see her piece all the time. She's how old, 4? 2. Oh my goodness.
Who is that? I forgot. I know Hay Day this weekend.
Do what?
I know Hay Day. I wonder if they're gonna have the carnival for the.
Oh, yeah.
Last year they had a big carnival there. My sister used to work over there, so we went. Her.
I'm sure you saw that.
I have to tell you a story about that later.
I've got a bunch of them trying to, I've been calling them processed yet.
I don't know how they're gonna, it's gonna take a while to get that verification passed there.
God, did you watch Miss America?
No, but I heard Oklahoma girl got runner-up.
Yep.
Good for her.
She was, third, I think. My son-in-law coaches, and not, Betty Thompson, who was Miss Oklahoma, that was runner-up at, Miss America. He coached her on the interview questions. The other one was like, oh, you have to see her talent. She was a dancer. She had a scarf.
Oh, she did like a,
Dalai Lama.
yeah, that kind of a,
Deal.
that's, for some reason that's become really popular.
So my daughter, she,
Oh, I know.
Ashley, was in Miss Oklahoma a couple times. Yeah, so she, did,
That one? That was good. Is that, I got it from yours?
Yeah.
Okay. Well. That's fine. I know.
I wonder how I'm doing in the football poll. I don't pick my winners based on statistics. I just pick them on which school I think should have the better team. Which forced me to pick Claremore over my, hometown of Uladon this year, but that was good call since they won.
yeah.
I was 8-2 that week, but I don't know what I was
Mine
doing.
is down. Who do we play this week?
I'll have to check online and see what the schedule's.
I've got a schedule out in my truck, just like,
When's our homecoming?
W10.
Should be pretty soon. I like the part of the week or something. We usually have it first part of October.
Doing computer labor for Ford. Did we renew the contract?
I'd have to look back, there were so many contracts renewed out that.
Well, a lot of them just have Walmart. So like, oh, can we check in with them?
it's over. There's two people on those tickets on the road. It's for something else, but there's two people, so it's actually not a really pretty.
It's nice that we have contractual, up-to-date contractual.
Okay.
Professional services to be paying out over $100.
Do they have to have a, oh well. I was just gonna ask a question about that. Hey, Robin, can I get a copy of that purchase order so I can check on it too?
It wasn't submitted today.
Oh, that one she has?
Oh, that one. Which one's that?
That's what he was just asking.
Oh, that's a contract? Yeah. Okay. Still signing.
Are you coming back to one phone? I will be videotaping, so you can watch online, on YouTube, at the Claremore Progress channel. Can you,
Hey, I put in a plug for you in the meeting.
I'll text her this.
Yeah. Hey.
You guys have been doing wonders for my popularity, so just keep up the good work.
So, there you go.
You guys ready?
Debbie, can
No, it's gone.
Yeah, go ahead now.
Okay,
Come back off.
under item number 23, if we would, hold on for a second, because we're going to go back to item number 16, under orders exceeding. We have purchase order 000939. It's to Comdata MasterCard for sheriff's fuel, the amount was encumbered $17,000. The amount, they went over $1,479.87, which brings the amount to $18,479.87. So we would need to approve this. 18,479.87. So it's over, just under $1,500. We would need to do this under orders exceeding, if you want to approve this one. Then we can go back to purchase orders.
So moved.
Second.
Thacker,
Aye.
Delozer,
Aye.
Helm,
Aye.
motion's been carried and approved.
Okay, so back to pay purchase orders from all departments. Were there any questions on any purchase orders? This one? What's your question on that one?
Got to take, see if in July, that when we were supposed to update all contracts, if it's updated before we sign it.
Purchase order 002006.
Okay.
Let me ask you, are you gonna check on the purchase, or the contract today?
I can.
Is this contingent on if she checks and there is a contractual agreement on this, then this will go in for payment?
Yeah, if Fiskey signs off on it, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, then we go in for payment.
Okay. Is that a motion to approve all purchase orders with the exception of 002006?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
What about that one?
That one wasn't submitted, they just brought it down here.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry, okay, Helm and
Delozer.
Thacker,
Aye.
Delozer,
Aye.
Helm,
Aye.
motion's been carried and approved.
Make a motion to recess until 1 o'clock
Second.
for the budget meeting.
Second.
Thacker,
Aye.
Delozer,
Aye.
Helm,
Aye.
motion's been carried and approved.
11:24 a.m.
Delozer, we have a quorum, sir.
Okay. Back to. See which item that was. Yes, 19. Discussion and possible action regarding the 2013-14 general budget and estimate of needs. Mr. Bill Turner is here. Did you get the numbers from the clerk's office last week? Okay, can you give us an update?
Well, not really. I mean, what she's given me is, when we kind of left off at the last meeting, and I don't think anything's been approved, anything from the commissioner side since then. My understanding was we're going to move some of your highway people's benefits and stuff over to the highway department and leave, the story I got was 15 people, and that was 15 staying with the county generally. If that's still gonna be the case, I would assume.
Well, we're looking at it. I mean, and I think that'll be the case, yes.
But that's kind of where we're at. If that's going to be the situation, then the next question becomes, are we going to have some raises involved? And have you talked about that anymore? Are there going to be raises to?
We've only discussed what has been at this meeting, and you were here, that's why we sent you the numbers.
Well, I just told you that
work
meeting,
on
I
it.
was gone that day for a little while, and I came back in, you guys are almost finished up and running.
Right. Right.
And like I say, based on those numbers, I mean, that's what she has worked up, is numbers with that assumption that that's what we're going to do, and that's what she's given to me. That's only I've got from her since.
So how close did that come with all those other
if we're gonna do those
adjustments that we made?
Yeah, if we're gonna do those things, then yes, there's, no, let me see if I can pull up those numbers all on her benefits now. some of those benefits already paid out of general. And that was one of the questions I had with her was, are those going to continue to be there? Or are we going to back this up to July 1st? Or are we going to cut it off at whatever time this happens? Whether that's the first of the month or whatever. You know, is that going to be a 9-month deal instead of a 12-month deal? That I wasn't sure about. Is she here today?
Yep, she's right.
Okay. So you tell me, what's your calculations on that?
Well, I'm not sure myself when we're gonna complete budget, so it's kind of difficult to tell where we're gonna stop it. The papers that I had sent to you, Bill, only included, let's see, let me find the right one here. The July and August amounts that have already been taken from 20-200. So if we get payroll, if we get it completed before we do payroll, which that starts this week and is presented Monday, so that looks very doubtful, we'll probably be taking the September payroll out of 20-200 also.
So, yeah, that's what it
And
was.
so the rest of the months would come from the new account.
So 9 months would come out of, 9 months would come out of our T account. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. Then that gives us numbers to work with as to roughly what we have available then for the remainder of that budget. Because yes, that takes out, let's see, how long did we approach this? We're at,
The way I think I have it figured on their bill, it's only has the July and August. And I might have not said that clearly as I should have, that we can change the accounts before it's in Monday if you determine that today. But the entire budget wouldn't have to be complete before we could switch those accounts if that is
that's true, yeah.
a clear motion that that's what you want us to do.
And did you give this information to the commissioners too? That you sent to me or not?
I don't know, we've met too many times, I couldn't be sure. I've given them several, but I'm not sure about that exactly.
Okay, with those numbers, Mr. Turner, did you have something?
Go ahead, Commissioner.
With those numbers that you've got, how close would you be to being able to present us with a balanced budget?
Fairly close. I mean, if that's what we're going to do, if we're going to cut that back to 15 people for the last 9 months in February, and the county general's going to pick up, I assume, all those people for those first 2 or 3 months, whichever you decide today.
I'd say 3.
3.
That way we're clear through September.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be my suggestion too. If we're gonna do that, then yes, that gets us really close to having now back to an excess of what we're gonna have as far as money's available. Because that, let's see. Teresa, these matching numbers that you're showing me, are those for just the highway people?
Oh, it's too late. No, I think I wrote the 15 on that page that had the highways. Let's see. This one.
She's in Minnesota.
That's what my employees say every morning.
I was behind you coming in, there was no train.
There's a park where you walk 10 minutes.
4 miles.
Would be the best experience.
Okay, so, to get that all straightened out,
Right in there.
those are the,
I'm just teasing.
That
to.
She calculated this as over.
I was late on purpose.
Take your conversations out in the hall if it doesn't pertain to this, please. Mr. Turner?
Teresa calculated for the 12 months on those highway people instead of 9, but I can tell you how much we're talking about there. That's gonna free up $1,286,155. What it's gonna free up as far as county general is concerned, if I pull that back, highway bill back in.
Would you say that number one more time?
$1,286,155.
Say 286 what?
155.
So that number pulled back from the general budget number gives us,
After those other adjustments we'd already made previously. Basically will free up too many numbers to talk about now, I guess.
We've done it so many different ways.
Exactly, that's what we purchased 3 different ways, and we look at 12 months versus 9 now.
I think everything will have a monthly calculation on it somewhere, if you can just find it where it says 12 months.
I wanted to know if I'll be able to ask you some questions, and if you would let me know when it's appropriate.
yeah,
Because I do have a question about what you just said.
a question about what I just said, or
No,
what he
about
just said.
the numbers. Yeah, I just am curious what that will do to your T Highway account. Will you guys have any money left?
We're taking, do you want to explain that one? What we were attempting to do here?
Yeah, what I understand we're trying to do here is that, we have sales tax money available in the general fund right now for maintenance and operation for highway, roughly $2 million plus. All right, that money can be used for that, it can't be used for salaries. The highway can be used for salaries, and that's what we're gonna do, is back that money back into there. I mean, that's what it appears to me that we're gonna wind up doing, is taking that $1.2 million back to your highway accounts, and basically taking expenses there.
Which is where we pay our salaries anyway, is out of our T account, and our 1 cent, part of it comes out of our 1 cent part, out of our T account. But doing this, with the shortfall that I said was gonna be here last year, is causing us to have to take away from our roads. That's what we're doing. I mean, everybody needs more, and we've only got a certain amount of money. The only way we know to do it any different is to take away from our roads. And that's, with paying this out of our roads.
That's it. We have no other monies other than.
There comes a time when general fund is milked, all it can be milked, and you can either take it away from your roads and continue to keep everybody up on raises and doing all that stuff, or we can bite down and say that's enough.
Sorry, but that's the factual.
Pretty well the way it is.
That's the way it is, that's right.
Or you can cut more from other areas.
Exactly.
Because when we say cut, we're not making cut. Cuts is when you get less than you had the year before. Okay, we're making adjustments. Okay, so, because I remember hearing something about we were $2.5 million over budget. Yeah, no, I know that's not right. But
Request.
so if we approve the budget as requested, then we would be. That's not gonna happen. So we come back, we make adjustments. That was one idea to help general fund, and this the balance was take it out of roads and bridges.
I still have one issue that I'd like to bring up, if you don't mind.
Not at all.
after the last meeting, I had a couple come to me and say that they never were told to put raises in theirs. And so we've got people here that have got raises in their budget. We've got people that don't have raises in their budget. And it's a mess. We need to know exactly how much you got in for raises, and those numbers would help a bunch too. Because laws say that the election board said that they were never told to put raises in, so they didn't put raises in. We've got some in here that have got raises in there, and it's got to be the same for everybody, folks. I'm sorry, that's my feelings on it. It has to be the same for everybody.
Well, like I discussed with you guys earlier, in most of the counties I've dealt with, if we have raises, it's across the board raises. It's not department by department, it's across the board. Because it's hard to deal with that problem if you try to let individual departments make their own raise consideration, because what are they gonna be, who knows?
Well, there's two ways to look at it. You can look at it as, you can ask for it, put it in your budget, and it can be cut or adjusted, or you can, you can't have it both ways. Everybody can't do their own budget and then expect us to adjust it, to approve it, and raises are typically across the board. I don't know why the election board wouldn't have put raises in. I don't know what,
I will
Are
say,
they the only ones that didn't put it in?
I don't know.
No. You said there were a couple of offices.
Well, those two, no, a couple of people.
A couple of people.
But on who has raises in, who doesn't have raises in, I have no idea, because they're just giving us numbers. We're not saying, okay, you've got so many employees, and this is what they're actually getting paid. You can put money in extra for raises. We're not gonna know the difference. And I feel that we need to know what money you're gonna get, or what money you're paying your people right now. And if there's raises, when I first came to work here, people would put raises in, but they would put in there, this is for raises. And then if we didn't get the raises, we knew to take that out right off the bat. Now it's not like that. It's just the money's in there, and this is how much I need for personal services. This is what I need for this. We used to have a breakdown, and I like the breakdown because it gave us an idea. We're all for raises, but it can't be one office get raises without everybody, in my opinion. And if you have somebody in your office you don't want to give a raise, that's your business, but it needs to be across the board raises, my opinion.
And Commissioner, that's how I figured mine was, without raises, and then I gave 3 scenarios.
Correct.
To have raises.
Right.
That's how we did ours as well.
Mr. Marsh?
On my assessor side, I started off 346,000 is what it was last year. We cut that to 320,000, and in that 320,000, after that cut, I did include raises in that. Now, we picked that apart, and I admitted to that in the last meeting, and that got picked out of there. But, I don't agree with across-the-board raises. I believe that, each individual office is responsible for how they spend money. When you're cutting your budget every year for 3 or 4 years in a row, and your employees still, we're not getting a bunch of new stuff in our office and this and that. I feel it's the responsibility of me to protect my workers, who's my best asset. I wouldn't have a piece of equipment sitting out there that goes 5 or 6 years without being maintained. Well, the same thing with our employees. That's just the way, that's my feelings on it, so.
This is just my opinion. Maybe this year, since we are at crunch time, weeks away from October 1, we always try to get the budget done. Maybe we could look at this time, the cost of living adjustment, some kind of raise across the board, $200, just using that as an example, per month for employee. After this budget is said and done, maybe we could look at installing a merit raise program. That way it does address what Scott's saying, and I know a lot of other people are feeling that way, but since we're at crunch time, we're just needing hard numbers, let's just say a cost of living adjustment, because we haven't had one in 4 to 5 years. Just my opinion.
Well, and along with that, I'll tell you, with taking this money out of our T highway that we're talking about doing, there's not going to be raises at warehouses. This is going to strap us tight on being able, and this is cuts that have to be done to give people money here. So, you know, you've got to understand it both ways here. Everybody wants raises for everybody, great. I like to have raises for everybody too. But then, there comes a time when there's no money for raises, and it's either keep everybody we got, or get rid of people. And I don't want to do that. It takes everybody that's here to do the job. But we've got to start looking at what it takes, and I'm a crunch person. It's time to get it down.
And that's why we're here at a budget meeting discussing this, to see what we can do, which direction we can go. And that's the point, I believe.
But we're still back at what I said a little while ago. We still have raises in for some and not for everybody.
Well, is that?
Well, that's pretty well true. I mean, we can go through the accounts and you can tell real fast who does and who does not. But, you know, and maybe that's the direction to go, is just start down the list and talk about, you know, if we put those people back to where they were either last year or what they're going to have for the people that they have right now at the current salaries. Because there's been some additions, even though, you know, maybe salaries are more. Treasurer's example, she's less than what she had last year. And we had some of that same situation across the board with some of these other departments. But no, we have not talked to her. I haven't talked to anybody. I don't know if Teresa has or not.
Okay, well, we can just ask which offices fit that scenario that Commissioner Delozer just stated. Some have raises in, some don't. We can see.
Well, it's my understanding that the sheriff's office dropped theirs.
We dropped everything to go straight with last year.
That's what I thought, that's 271 coming off the figure, that dropped to 271.
Yeah, go back to the 256 or whatever it was.
Right.
Okay, so that's the first one.
Treasurer's actually below.
Okay. That's office number 2.
I put in for a raise, but took it out.
Well, start with, before you go to departments, let's go with 8 elected officials, those offices, and then we can break it by department. So the sheriff's office, the treasurer, Mr. Marsh, where are yours at?
Currently, what I show on the personnel services, last year was 346. This year, after removing the raises and taking out one more employee that I was able to fit into the revow side, that drops it down to 254 too. So that's, what, $92,000?
But is that with raises included in that? That's with the raises subtracted. Okay.
On the other side of that, and this doesn't really mean much because it's the revow side, most of it's paid for the schools. That extra employee was added to that side of the budget. But as Mr. Turner said before, it's a fraction of, it ends up being about a $7,000 increase. So you're taking away 90-some thousand and adding 7 to the other side. So.
Ms. Henry?
We figured in the proposed that we sent in did include raises, but we last meeting gave up 2 employees. So I don't remember what they ended up leaving us with, like 300 and something, 366,166.44.
But then that number would still include raises for your employees that you still have, correct?
On my payroll, yes, if we did do raises.
Okay, so there's, that office is one of the ones you're talking about.
What if you didn't do raises?
Be 345,497 to leave me at what I was at last year. And 64 cents, sorry.
345 what?
$345,497.64 without any raises. And it would leave me down 2 employees from what? Well, you know, because we asked for 2, whatever, yeah.
Okay.
We did not figure raises, Teresa. I know we discussed it, but I'm pretty sure they're not included. They're not included. We discussed it at one time.
They were in the original number, but they're not in the, 382,000.
We cut back as much as we felt like we could.
Okay, by department, IT, you said you,
I gave mine back, so all I was asking for is $58,113.84.
okay, maintenance,
We cut back to 180.
that's without raises.
Without raises.
You can take mine out, but my computer systems, they increase on mine.
And, very good.
He went to make a copy of my budget.
Oh, okay. Election board, yours was already without raises. What do we got with that? Oh,
The state determines whether or not I get a raise, so. Probably, more than likely, it's not in the future, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Larry?
9,600.
What-
That's the amount of raise that I put in my account.
90,000?
9,000. 9,000.
See the problem now? I have pinpointed the issue.
So 90,000 comes out of planning and zoning?
No.
I tried.
I really think it's 90,000. Okay, so 9,000 out of planning would be
9,600 out of personal services.
Did you say that would represent your raises?
That would represent my raises.
Okay, so with all those numbers,
What would your number be without raises in it? You have that?
Hold on.
Be about 185 something?
Oh, yeah.
Out of just the PS or out of, for total?
Is that personal service?
Personal services.
sneak up on that. Oh, yeah, I'll get you. Thank you.
84, 645, 77, $184,645.77.
And emergency management.
We did not put any, for any raises in our department or advertising.
Okay, either one of those, okay. So did you ask the question, what does that do? When you take all those numbers out? Did you ask that? Okay, what was the answer to that?
Haven't got one yet.
Okay.
Because we're just now trying to get this.
Did you get?
Mr. Turner, did you get all of those?
I've got them written down, but now we gotta do some calculations, see where we're at on that.
Oh, and the 911. She's not here.
I don't know if she put in for raises or not. I have no idea. We'll solve it.
Because we actually spent 301 last year in those 911 dispatchers, but I don't
Our
know.
budget was 295 last year.
Yeah, 295, but we actually spent 301, we had some more to that budget.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So I didn't know if that meant that's all we spent last year, or is it additional people at 360, I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, it was last week. I'll have to. Hey, what did you come up with all that?
He's gonna do all the calculation. She's gonna find out about 911.
Okay.
Is that all of them?
I think that's everybody.
Yeah, my part, we'll talk about, bring that table out there, right?
Teresa, you wanna come up too? To the table, or if you guys wanna work together here?
Brett, you were talking cost of living raises. What percentage have you seen on cost of living?
I was just using it as an example, since we're talking about across the board versus merit, which was brought up. It's I was saying if we just needed a number, we could look at the 3%, that's the usual average of cost of living raise. I just threw $200 out to make it a nice even number for everybody, just to work with, saying, is it capable or is it not able? Let's go from there. But 3% is what I've been seeing, 3 to 5%.
In a year. 3 years. 3 years. Rich, do you know how many there are, how many employees we're talking that would get raises?
I only know the number when it includes cash. Of all the employees that we pay through payroll is 280, I'm gonna say 285.
But you're talking warehouses and everything, so that would, because the warehouse employees' raises wouldn't come out of general fund.
Right, I can, I'll figure it right quick, I've got a payroll with me.
So you say 280, just say $200 a month per employee, just out of 280. I don't have a calculator in front of me.
200 times 280?
Yes.
56,000.
Isn't that crazy?
How much?
A month or a year?
Do it times 12.
672,000.
So see, that adds $672,000 more money if we did $200.
And then you have to consider your 15.5% on your OPERS and your 7.65% on your FICA, 1% on unemployment. There you go.
I know I made a real hit by talking about the raises, and I didn't mean to. It's just a fact of life. Things that have to be done. These, I don't know, these two, we've made the same amount of money for, we haven't had a raise in over 5 years either, so it's nothing I'm proud of having to do, but it's something we have to do. I mean, it's business, and that's what we're after here, is making sure it's done right. I agree with a lot of people who work in this courthouse work under a lot of stress and pressure and need to make more money, but we've only got a certain amount of money to spend. Mike's sitting over here saying nothing.
Which is unusual.
Just like majorities, 2 to 1. I made my comments and made my session about how Bill is voted down 2 to 1. That's a majority. Go with what you got.
Did we go down the list and get everybody's? Because I don't understand all these deals on the list. Like we have the COMMPS 08 and reval, what are those?
Reval is the assessor's office.
Okay, so you dealt with him.
And the commissioner's PF, that's commissioner's salaries.
Okay, so, and that's gonna go to your highway fund?
Well, last year we took the 3 commissioner's salaries out of our
Oh,
highway
so it
fund.
comes out of this?
No, commissioner salaries, I think they put them in, but they cut them back out. The commissioner salaries have always, for the last, counting this year, will be 2 years that we've taken out of our highway funds.
And are you gonna put them back in here? Because
No.
it went to 245, 246.
No,
It's changed.
Last week, we took 207,000 out.
Okay, I just didn't have it written down, sorry.
Yeah, we took 207,000 out of it because it's the commissioners, normally we're paid out of there. We took vote last year to pull our salaries out. The only one in there is Christine.
Okay. I'm just making sure I got them all written down. Thank you. Just a
Mr.
fact.
Harold, I don't know what you were talking about earlier, Stitch. Can you refresh my memory on
And you, Mr. Thacker, I've talked to the court system and they have no idea what this $2,105 is in 19B.
It's what you guys pay back for,
Okay.
We're still trying to determine, and I've got to talk to Bill about that, whether we need to put income on the other side. It won't matter to the budget because it's gonna wash out either way. If we're gonna put money in there and we're gonna put income in too.
Okay.
So it'll wash out, so I've just left that off the plate right
No,
now.
we zeroed it.
Okay.
It just depends on how we want to run the money through, you know. If we're gonna run it through the budget numbers, because it looks like part of it got run through last year, but not all of it. So I don't understand how or why that was done, but.
You able to share?
Do I want you to share?
This is the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, and it shows how counties rank in employment salaries. You got it, Oklahoma, Rogers is right with Tulsa County in the highest paid employees range. That's just interesting thing. I was just saying.
That's the way it should be. We got the best North County state, we got the best people. Hey, just to let some of you know, other than Kathy, because she's been here, and us three, the way we used to do the budget was we went around and said, hey, what do you need? And they said, whatever. And that was a different, now we do it in this open, public meeting. It seems like it takes longer, but in order to get that out there, where all these numbers are at, who's spending the money, who's cutting, this is just the way we do it now. There was a time, like I said, when I could go in to Kathy Baker's office and say, what do you need this year? Something to the effect, you better get me what I got last year. And
She never said that.
she said more than that. But, you know, we would try to go that route. I mean, Sheriff Prather would say, I need 2 cars and 3 deputies, or you know, whatever it was. And then by the time we got into here, it was pretty much, it was pretty much worked out. I just wanted everybody to know it seems like it's taking longer now, but there are different people, and well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, just real quick.
Okay, Cal.
Yeah. So anyway, but that way everybody knows what the process is, and we can go from there. Do you have some?
Yeah, that's gonna get us, roughly our numbers are that by you putting those 9 months back in, that's gonna free up about $600,000 by now.
You said that would free up approximately $600,000?
Money's available now to do, if we wanna do raises of those, and that's what's there.
You want to give a little timeline of exactly how we got to that point?
Sure.
Other than just say, hey, there's 600,000.
Well, it's going back through, everybody that's given me those changes from what we talked about originally on the budget, what the requests were, taking into consideration all those things we had, plus the $1,286,000, that I talked about earlier, that you guys are giving up as far as your benefits for the highway guys. We've had some changes as far as the reval is concerned that we got today. Got those, I didn't have those numbers in here from the employee going back in. The $650,000 that we are going to take out of the trust department for 911, instead of having in here, that's the other big item we've got. All those things will get us down to roughly a $10 million budget. And we have available $10 million $6,767. So, like I say, it frees up roughly $600,000 worth of money based on all those changes everybody's done, and it's back to the regular wages instead of having any raises in there. So, that's our number. Now, the question becomes is, you know, if we do a percentage raise or a dollar raise, or if you call it cost of living, is it going to be based on percentage or based on a dollar amount? That's gonna make some differences, and I'll have to get that from Teresa's office as to how much we're talking about if we go a percentage raise. And Teresa, did you look up, we talked about this once before, how many people are we talking about being paid out of county general right now?
Without the 15 people for the commissioners each, it would be 130. With the 15 from each district, 175. And because you're gonna pay 15 from somewhere in general, right? If that's what you decide to do. Based on that number, or you want the totals?
Does that include the revow people or not? I can't remember if we-
It does.
It does include. And revow, how many people we done with you guys?
Well, we've changed it to,
7 now.
7 now.
let me double check that.
Because revow's
Yeah,
paid.
we lost an employee that we're not replacing, we just added workload, and that's another reason why we raised it.
Well, see, they're paying both salary and benefits out of revow. So if that's going to affect how much we have available, because we'll get that money back if we dump that on there.
It's 7, and it will probably end up being to be 8.
The eight.
Yeah.
And then the 16 account, is it gonna stay at 8 or would that go to 7?
The 16 will be 1, 2, 3, 6 is currently,
County costs.
yeah.
So if
So
your total
Mine's
count,
not raised.
just look at your total count, 175, if that's what we've got, then if he's gonna have 8 people paid out of revow, it gets down to 167 people that we're talking about. And if we do, see, at $100, that's roughly $200,000 before benefits on it, because you gotta figure benefit cost, and didn't we figure about 30% on fixed cost? And that's your number, 32 or something like that?
I think on the, let's see, we got the workers' comp on it too. It's no less than 25.5, but it can go as high as 32.
Let's just say it's 32 for numbers. So that's 12 months at $100 costs us $264,000. So if we win as much as $200, now you're looking at cost of roughly $500,000 plus.
Yes.
That $500,000, that would be at the cost of the highway fund. Because in order to make room for anything, you're basically taking money from the roads and bridges to be able to give the employees a raise.
Me too, yeah.
Okay, I just make sure I understand.
Comments? Marsh.
Be the bad guy here. We're talking about the raises and taking this out and redoing all this and everything, but has every office went back through and double checked, and we haven't really went into actual expenses itself yet, and other ways to trim in other areas? So, I mean, I made sure it wasn't resting at this.
No, this isn't the final, this is whittling this down to get where we need to be. Offices, can go back and look at some things that, you know, maybe aren't as necessary. I mean, it just depends on what you want. You want, and we've said this before, do you want maybe some type of raise for your people, or, you know, you want the way it's always been, so to speak. So, yeah, I think that's a good place to go back to and look and see.
Well, what we did in that other meeting that we had, you know, a lot of people gave up travel and M&O and other things too.
Right.
And I'm taking that all into consideration, what they told us originally. You know, if there's additional cuts, fine. You know, we worked it up from there, what everybody was able to give us when we had that other meeting.
Right. I mean, I don't think it would
I'll tell you what,
It'd be too much to ask for everyone to go back and take another look at it before. It's easier to do it now than to finalize it and then say, well, we messed up here, so.
for everybody,
Based on what you're giving me now, I mean, I can go back now and put all this back into every account and come up with a penny of where we stand. And, you know, like I said, coming today, I didn't have those numbers because I didn't get from
Right.
as far as where we're gonna make this break.
so everybody will be on the same page.
Exactly.
Let's,
That's
can
probably what I need to
we
go
go
back
down
and
the
say.
list
Yeah.
and show the cuts?
Sure.
Sheriff, personal services?
We got 271, 148.95 there.
I'm just making sure. Okay, and then
And
maybe
we got 20,000 on travel.
okay. Treasurer was the next one, wasn't it?
He gave back the 21,000.
21,000 on our,
196.78?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then Commissioners,
207, 686.56, what I'm showing there. that we gave out.
686?
Yeah, 868.56.
So I had 868.
Yeah, 868.96. And 4,000 on that capital outlay.
County clerk? Was that next?
Yeah. OSU extension, I had that down, but that, I think that dropped, I mean, didn't drop anything. I think we left that at 264 because they were at 270 last year, so I think that stayed the same.
Okay, county clerk, 2,000 out of personal services,
Service,
5,000 out of part-time, 5,000 out of M&O, 15 out of capital.
Right.
Okay, court clerk, 366, 166, 44.
76, 680, 120 cut.
Okay,
10,000 on her M&O and 5,000 on her capital outlay.
okay, now, did you say taking raises out made it 345, 497, 64?
Yes.
Yeah, that's gonna drop to about $90,000.
Okay, so we're gonna go with the 344, or 345, 497?
497,
For right now?
Okay.
And we dropped 2,000 on our travel the last time.
Oh, okay, I didn't have that one down. I had it down and I erased it, I didn't know, so 2,000 should have been dropped off there too. The $3,000.
Yeah, last year we got 3,500, we dropped it down to 3,000.
Okay, good.
And then 10 on M&O and 5 on
Capital outlay.
capital? Okay. And then assessor,
He is now at 254.2 on personal service. I believe all the other accounts he's got down, so we are up about 5,000 on M&O for next year, but that's the deal.
okay, and reval,
Reval is now at 453, roughly 453,000. Oh, I'm sorry. That wasn't a number, 453,000 we're talking about
On
on
the-
service of Reval.
Yes, 453.
what was exactly the 453 one? We know?
I just have it as 453, I don't know.
I've got that reading also right now. And the rest of his things, right now, I've left not changed because, again, most of this is going to go back to the schools to be paying for,
Right.
not, you know, not, or I say school, anybody that gets ad valorem tax other than the county. Is what's going to have to be paid for. Human resources, right now, I still have the same at 57, I'm sorry, 165, 544, is there any cuts there that,
Yeah, take out, you can put the PS back to what it was last year, and then the computer maintenance can go down to 51.
51, all right, good, okay. District court to 0. government, I didn't really have any changes there. The only thing we're going to have is the M&O account, which could possibly change, but I think that $1.2 million we decided was things other than taxes, so. Excise stayed the same. Election went to 214, 420, 32 on, back to what it was last year on personal service.
We've got the, you're talking about us, right?
Yes.
Well, we, you know, because we requested a phone, but if we go with the ShoreTel system, we don't need the full 13,000. We can do it for less, which would, we would have 5,270 out of the, original.
Right, I had you, I kept outlay down to 6730.
Right.
That's right. Okay. And M&O at 42,589, is that correct?
No.
For some reason I had it.
No. 5,014 cut,
Uh-huh.
that's what I got written down here too.
No, we didn't cut that. Because you need the personal services to be 17,250. And part-time, which is for our temporary, the 4,541.
You say your personal services is what?
217,650.
I've got down here a cut of 28, 29, 68.
Well, it went back to what, I thought it went back to what it was last year, 214, 420.
The only thing that we was ever gonna be able to do was the, we were gonna give up 13,000 because of the phone system that we had requested. And that's, if we went, that's what the cost was gonna be for the system like you all have. If we went for the system that we wanted, then we could cut, we could still get it and just give up the 5270.
Well, last year we only
Sounds
spent,
good to me.
we only spent 208,000 in personal service last year. So have we added some people, or did we get full staff, or why is it more this
We
year?
have somebody that's going full-time
Okay.
instead of part-time.
This full-time person, is this, would this be considered a county employee where we're paying, the county's paying all the benefits and all that? HR?
They already are. This person works 32 hours a week, so they are technically still full-time or currently are paying benefits. They're moving their hours up to 40 hours a week
So there's no change in,
in benefits.
other than they're gonna work another 8 hours a day?
It'll change their
Eight
hours,
hours a
but it won't
week.
change their.
It'll change all the percentages except for health. For every gross dollar that goes up, it'll change all the other benefits.
I'm talking about health, vision, dental, life. Those won't change. It'll be OPERS and workers' comp and those will change.
And we could keep her at the other, but they said we need to use her.
So what's the difference in dollars there?
About $7,000.
Annually?
But we had thought we were cutting, it was about $7,000 we're not cutting now.
Okay, so just for clarity, $7,000 we thought we were cutting, we're not cutting.
That's why we do it.
take the 5,270 out though?
Yes, but we had down, at that meeting we had last week, I had down that we dropped to 214 on the personal service and to 42,589, which is the same number we had last year on M&O, and apparently that's not correct.
Right.
So what are we changing?
Or they're going back to 217 on personal service that we requested, and 276 on M&O that they requested. Only cutting capital outlay by the 52 cents.
281.
So the only thing, that they're cutting, again, for clarification, 5,200,
It's 270 out of capital. Correct.
We've got 1,200 out of M&O.
What about M&O?
We can give up 1,200 of them, you know.
Okay.
That gives us at 279,925.
which came up with 279.
925, that's correct. Then.
Commissioners,
Insurance and
I
benefits.
jump in right quick
Ms.
after you
Kathy.
finish with her, to go back up to the government building improvement at the 500,000 there. Are we still in need of that large amount with the new building?
The parking lot's done, we want.
Oh, is that, okay.
Yeah, see, that's.
We'll have to be part of that for the parking lots.
Parking lot.
Yeah.
Other places.
But then we should, after that, new building, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, very hopefully.
Thank you.
Is her travel gonna stay the same?
Pardon?
Was she gonna leave her travel the same?
Well, we kind of skipped around there. Let's see where we at. $5,000?
We're gonna keep that the same. We have a lot more elections coming up. We use that to take care of those things.
What does that mean, take care of those things? Are you talking
Well,
about your
when we
precinct
have to
workers?
travel
or-
back and forth between the precincts, whenever we have issues, whenever we have to go deliver stuff, that's all part of that travel.
We only spent 2,000 last year.
2007, yep.
I have more training classes that we have to attend this year because it's a, it's state required. Because we're gonna have to, we have to train all of our workers that have to come in as well, we have to pay them travel expenses.
How
All
much
of our
does the-
precinct
Does the
workers.
state pick up any of this?
They pick it up on 1 year and then the next year we have to pick it up. So like last year they picked it up, this year we pick it up.
And you are referring to you said the state requires it.
We would, yes,
So this is another state, unfunded state mandate, is that what you're saying? If they require it and they don't pay for it, that's an unfunded state mandate. So we can cut something there. Can you give up 1,000 of that?
For travel?
for travel.
For travel?
Yeah, on
Yes.
that. Pardon?
Yes.
Thank you.
Insurance and benefits.
That's gonna stay pretty about that 2.6 less the 1,200,000 that you guys are going to pay out of highway. So that was a pretty good number, 2.6 was. There may be a few few extra dollars, we'll go back to recalculate that, but it's gonna stay.
Yeah, I think we need to, if it's 2.6 for everybody, and we're just taking out about, yeah, well, I mean,
2.6, huh?
yeah, we're taking almost half of it out for what employees extra, that'd give me 10, give you, how many employees you have? 23. So it'd be 8 for him, and so it'd probably be, maybe 25 people is all we'd be paying out of there, and we're talking 200 and some coming out of it now, or 180, whatever it was. I think we better recalculate that. I think that's gonna change that number a bunch.
Well, the number I had was $1,714,000 coming out of it to start with.
Well, if we're just taking out our extra employees over 15,
This $1,700,000 was only with the people over 15. That's not correct, Teresa, is that what we had?
Let's see.
That number you gave me there, the $1,714,000, that was the
The one-
people.
The 1,714,000 is for the 84 full-time, 12 months. And then we have to go backwards from that to pull the 15 out.
Oh, okay.
Because that number is their total cost. I think there's another.
well, 15 is what would stay in there.
Would stay in there.
It's anything over 15.
Yeah.
So that'd change it, that'd change it a
That
bunch.
will change it. So you got 84 total highway employees.
Okay.
That's my question. And 15.
Is that with the 3 commissioners? Are they in there?
Yes.
Okay, so it'd be 81.
Yeah, that's how we do it. There's 15 in the commissioners on it.
So are we keeping 15 per commissioner?
No,
15
15.
total. So now we're going to be down to 69 employees.
This page was removed from general fund, if they decide on the 15.
84 minus 45.
I know.
45 would stay in there.
Okay, now.
It's the same thing she has, and then it starts on the back.
39 of them will be funded
At 200.
by TIA.
If you divide that into being $32,000 per employee, if you take that 1.2 million, that's what it's, right?
How
We
many-
figured about 600,000, you and I did it, we figured around 600,000, 6 to 700 is what we figured.
How many total employees do each of you have?
Is that 25?
23 total, all, on everybody?
Yeah, documented. How many part-time?
3. That's
How many
18
part-time?
regular people.
Okay, 25, 23, and how many total?
I had about 20, 27, 28 somewhere there.
Okay, and then 15 each are gonna go back to the general fund. So 45 of that can go back.
Well, that's what we're looking at
Okay,
Yeah.
right now.
it's confusing.
It's always been, all of them have always come out of the general fund. This is gonna be pulling some of them out of the general fund and pulling them out of our warehouse, or out of our team.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion to take about a 5-minute break while we do some calculating here.
Okay, that's gonna leave bandwidth 10 for,
like,
2 seconds.
it's actually, or 8, they'll have 8 left. We're staying the same as where we were last year. But they were on a different funding, not county funding. Our county funding, we've asked for 2 additional replaces. It does make sense. We're not losing anything. 15 minutes, well, I'm just saying, if they're, the county, the county could pick up 45 of the road workers, or in home road workers, or 15.
Well, they're keeping it because they've already been paid for them.
Right, but if they're gonna pay for them out of the general fund, right?
Well, they already are.
Right, so what, how many are we taking out of there? How many
That's the
are we-
better,
Yeah.
that's the question to
Yes,
ask.
how many are we, which I figured
That's why I got
would be
mine.
23, 31? Based on what they said 31 numbers. Do you, how many employees are you taking out of your fund?
Mine,
Total. I think it's 31.
I've got 36.
And you've got 36?
No, it'll take 81 employees, and we're taking 45, we're leaving 45 in the general fund. So what's left out? 39 will come out.
Okay, and somebody didn't say they have the right number of employees. Okay. Yeah, my city's at 23, 25, no, it doesn't matter. Somebody's not fessing up. Who has the rules?
He's paying for all my personalities.
Do you get health benefits for each one?
They have 25, but there are some of them part-time, so they don't all, but I figured them all out, so we'd have enough. I can get a copy of that. I can make you a copy. And then District 2 has 23, and District 3 had 35, but some of them are part-time.
So what is the savings? Is it that 1 point? No, that's a total cost. If you
So that 1.2, 1,286, blah, 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 that's cost.
That wasn't the 1.7 is the cost. And it's a high cost because some of these part-timers don't get all those benefits, you know. So like the village across the road, they don't get help. So that's a high number. They're gonna save by doing the new pay is, well, I had 775, but they don't go another month. It's gonna break down to 600.
Okay, so 600, which means that the 700 will come out of the road fund.
Yeah.
That's what
they should. I know. I think Bill has a little.
Seeing into the last meeting.
My husband wants to go in on
They
the
were all
next one.
$400,000.
He'll be wanting to keep everything though, and I'll end up having to tell him to go back.
Well, they would be requests, you know.
Well, no, he'd be like, oh, no, I want that, and then I'd have like another story to pull up my drawing.
If they take this out, then they'd actually come back without the additional investment there.
Make sure how you feel
I think that's
Close to being right, yeah.
so maybe what they need to do is recalculate on
Calculate what they tell me to calculate. I don't know.
I mean, I'm just concerned.
I've already figured it 4 or 5 ways.
I think that we all get the road fund and all those boxes.
They aren't gonna be any good now if they're in the driveways.
We just need to. I don't know where the judgment is.
Dan Delozer has a haul place, and my husband takes it. So I'll help you. Rex will not taking his truck to Wyoming, we'll load it up. Hey, I have a ditch too behind Bill Rader's house. Bill Rader has a great big culvert thing.
Right, yeah.
That's what I've done.
Now, if they can.
They go down and shoot at them, and then all of a sudden they totally deplete them because they shot them all up and then bury them. You know, I hear someone say, well, does it have those kind of tubes in it that's like toxic or something like that? Toxic in a TV?
Make a fish tank out of it. That old 30-inch TV is twice as heavy as my 60-inch.
Roll with it. Hey, I have one of those ones, so I finally got my husband to buy it. I've been playing this game.
I say these are projections, I just get a flat screen, it's a projection will live forever.
Yeah, I don't know where Dewey's at. You're not getting lost together. Will you rather go with us and watch Kelly? We'll go this week. We both get to leave early.
Not this time. Okay, call this meeting back to order at 2:15.
Thacker?
Here.
Down? We have the warrants here.
Okay, and we're back.
You just send me a text if you need help.
round numbers, kind of where we're at. By increasing the ad valorem, that kicked our number up to about 10.7, that's available now to, that will have been coming into the general fund. Well, the budget was 10.7. Then going to the expenditures, we're looking at, if we're doing, if you guys want to keep taking 15 out of each department, out of each district, so we have 45 people that they're going to stay in county general. That means we're going to have 39 actually coming out. That's not what I was looking at earlier. When she said 1,000,007, I assumed that was just on those highway people, but that's not. I mean, that's, well, that calculation wrong. If we have 1,000,007 available, and she's got cost on those. People, she says her cost is 1,000,007 on 84 people. If we break that down to 39, roughly our savings now is, again, for around $800,000 roughly is our savings from that side of it. Right? And based on that, that puts us at roughly 10.7 still needed. 10.7 is what we need for the budget. We got 10, what is that, 6 with those numbers in there.
We're gonna be pretty close.
We're real close, so we're within $100,000, and that's not doing any raises with anybody, that's leaving it, just you guys taking that many people out. See that, when I was giving those numbers earlier, I thought it was a lot more money than we're talking about coming out of there, but it's not. It's only $796,000 or $800,000 actually that's going to be saved at the county general level, not going into what we were looking at.
Okay. This is no more my budget than it is either one of these two, but when you're the chairman, you I don't know, you sense a certain sense of responsibility, more so.
Sure.
And what I like to do is I like to save things back and work, you know, because it appears to me that if you come in here and you say you have, $18 million to work with, then what we always seem to try to do is work it to where 18 million is the number. And if you said there's only 17, then we would work it to 17. Well, you know, I'm not a big fan of historical budgets. It doesn't matter what you had last year. It's
Right.
a needs-based budget.
Your office work. That's right.
Okay, and so we've determined, pretty much, I mean, there's still some other things I see in here that can be whittled out. However, a few weeks ago, or a week ago, we as a board, kicked out the use tax money. We said, no, we're not putting that in. Okay? And how much was that? Do you remember, anybody?
Mike does.
How much was it, Mike?
$633,281.23. But since then, we've deposited another $117,000 against that, so we would be pretty close to $800,000. Right, Christine?
Oh, so.
What? Okay, that money is, Mr. Iskey?
Sir.
Can you give, and maybe you're not prepared to do that at this minute. But can you give the definition of what that money can be used for and the excess use tax money?
No.
Well, that would help.
You know, it has to be used for only the language of the ballot.
Excess.
The excess. I'm not sure I'm answering the question you're asking me.
Okay. The use tax, I'm not talking about the bond. I'm talking about use tax that comes in that we used to.
I'm sorry.
We used to parlay, I guess, if you will, to Marceta. But now, it comes in, we pledged for bonding purposes, the use tax. But the excess use tax, my understanding is we can use that whatever the board as a whole deems necessary.
I'm sorry, I did confuse use tax with bond proceeds or bond collections. But the answer was still going to be the same. A use tax is defined by statute and its statutory purpose and can be used for no other. And off the top of my head, what the statute is on that, again, I wish I could remember those, I just don't.
Well, at this time, you have that use tax in a cash account, and that's not part of, it's in a cash account by itself.
Right. Right, it's not even in the.
That's right. None of this.
It's with the treasurer, number 9996919. So it isn't part of the bank, it's not part of the bond, it is with the treasurer, deposited in the treasury's accounts down there for the treasurer to have.
So that's almost $700,000. Well, actually, it's more than 700,000. That is basically a rainy day fund, if you will, because we've set it aside.
I just have a quick question. If you guys do not fund CETA with that money, like you did last year, which I think was about $300,000, it's my understanding that that agency is claiming that they would cease to exist with that funding, and they're the holder of your bonds. So, should some of that money be kept aside for them?
I've never said that we are to put all of it in. I'm just throwing it back in the mix.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Because
That's
I'm quite
part of
sure
the discussion.
I'm quite sure that part of that money is probably not earmarked specifically, but we have projects that we're trying to complete around here, 911, Plaza, what have you. I'm never for spending all of it. Just, you have it so you spend it. But I'm saying, we've looked at this without that money even in play. Now we can look at it with partial part of that money in the mix. None of it. I mean, it depends on what everybody wants to do.
Can I ask one question? Did you get an answer back on the 911 funds? I believe at one point Ms. Hamilton had said that she had budgeted her salaries based on the supervisor's pay rate, so I was just curious if maybe she reevaluated that, there might be some money there.
I don't know. Commissioner Gloser had Christine call.
Yeah, she didn't figure out any additional raises, just her step-up raise that she does, that she figures in a base salary, and then she steps them up on the 60-day. So that's, yeah, when they meet their certain certification, she bumps them up at 60 days. But that's how she's getting it in, so.
It really should be good.
Okay, and then there was another place that we can look at, is the sheriff's office was paid for dispatching. Was it last year?
Yeah, we didn't charge last year, we haven't charged this year.
Then we took that out and gave that to, or we didn't take it out. We just paid dispatching out of general.
Right, out of 911.
Out of 911. So there's an amount of money that can be looked at.
So we voted 2-1, that 911 would be funded by the general fund, and that 3 employees plus Janet would be funded by cash fee fund 41 and 42. All right? Okay.
4 employees, Janet, 3 employees.
3 employees.
Yes.
And all the benefits for the 10 would come out of general fund. On the payroll of the 10 would come out of general fund. It's just the 3 employees plus Janet that comes out of 41 and 42, which is their benefits and their.
Yes, the 41 and 42. With the exception of the director, their benefits all came from.
Director came out of general fund, I believe.
Yeah, no. I think it's the other way around.
So if we wanna look at putting a portion of this back in the budget, that's something I think we can look at. Wearing me out.
Well, I'm trying to understand, the 911 dispatching went up from $295 last year, and I believe the final budget amount was $800,000 for that department this year, so I'm curious why such a large increase?
No, that's not what we did. What we did, we voted last week, we did 10 employees out of the general fund. We did 3 employees out of 4,100 plus general. Last year, dispatching was $358,786, which they spent $302,000. This year, they were asking for $1 million. We took the $651,400 out of the equation to put it down to $360,000 for dispatching. And then she was gonna figure out what she needed from M&O, travel, capital outlay and all that, and bring it in here to you, where she was gonna get it to. Did she ever get it to you?
And the $800,000 that you saw was their benefits and everything. And what you've always seen out of the 911 dispatcher's budget is never included the benefits.
So that was already in last year, it was just in a different account?
Yes, it came straight out of the general fund
Okay,
budget.
I'm just making sure I
We
understand.
did, we figured it as a whole. The recommendation was to figure out what it costs.
In the past, they pulled all the benefits out of the general fund and it didn't ever show in most of everybody's account. And now it does.
But to be clear, the sheriff's office, they didn't give up any of that money when you took it away from them. And that's what you're looking at now.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I took mine.
I mean, that's correct, right, John? Your dispatching money, I mean, you didn't give that up last year, even though we moved it.
Right.
Right.
And you've not been done for any this year. It was talked about, but didn't happen, right? And then we voted 2-1 to do it that way, so it's still gotta stay that way. Unless we voted.
We're pretty close on our numbers, aren't we?
And that's without the anything to use tax.
Right. We're getting real close.
It's not use tax. It's not use tax. It's in the treasury department. It's county money.
It's something, I'm just gonna go ahead and warn this like I did last year. If we use that as new money, we better make sure we got it every year. Because once you use it as new money like we did the carryover last year, that's why we're in where we are right now.
No, that's not the only reason.
That's the main reason.
That's the main reason, but that's not the only reason.
All new fire troop, a lot of it too, and new phones. But, something to do with.
Okay, Mr. Turner, do you have enough information now to proceed with your numbers, and you can come back
And I
and
can
give
go
us?
back with a sheet that everybody can look at and say, here's where we stand exactly. I guess I can do that.
Okay.
promise it's the last one.
It is not.
I promise, I promise.
It's not.
I just wanna know if you mind just going, will you just highlight which department's budgets at this point are higher than last year? Who's asking for more money compared to that? Because I know that most people have cut, so there probably aren't very many departments that are left that are above where they were last year.
Well, I mean, first, the sheriff's office is probably gonna be higher because but you have to understand they have 20 new cars.
Right.
I mean, and that's going to be higher. I don't know who else. Is anyone else? Who else? But like I was saying, on a needs-based budget, that's a need, without a doubt.
I guess I'm just looking for what's the new expenses this year that maybe have impacted the budget?
Well, I mean, that's a long detailed list.
Oh, computer maintenance? 51,000 for computer maintenance. What's this? Oh,
Okay, do you gentlemen have any more questions? Do we have any questions or
just what I'm,
from any of the folks out here?
okay.
Ms.
Can I
Teresa?
make a clarification? On the Snyder Calling employees, I want to get it straight in one time, okay? That I've looked at the August payroll, and the 43D, the 10 employees, only, 43D itself only paid matching FICA, Social Security, Medicare, okay? Everything else is out of general. Okay. On the 41, because the only thing coming out of 42 right now in salaries is Shelley's on the admin. But on 41 and 42 both, for the 4 employees, Janet, the 3 employees, right, 3? All of the benefits came out of 20-200, except the director's OPERS match.
And it comes out of 41.
41.
Okay. I think that's what we voted on.
So you have a dollar figure for those?
Yeah.
You got a dollar figure for those 10 people?
I was just trying to see if they were somewhere.
But they're included in the numbers already that you have.
Well, but I'm seeing 360, and I know it's not a good number, so what is the number?
502.
You guys cut that
For the,
back down to that.
what do you want to do?
Those 10 people, how much are
The
we paying?
10, which account is that? The 10 or the 40?
Yeah, you cut all the back down.
Or the 43?
It's 530.
I'll just ask you.
And top of it,
27.8 gross, 40s.
530.
Here's 12, 12, 12 is on the 12 new figures.
Let's see the back of your house. No, come on.
You're in Candy Camera. You might, if you're in Candy Camera.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
correct for one.
Anybody that watches it all the way through
Showed them
will
15.
agree.
Is that what they're
Now,
slapping
this is
you
only
really?
matching.
They will
But
agree.
in the main PS account, this time Sterling comes in.
Hey, you have any more questions? Commissioner Hill, Commissioner Bloser?
No, is that,
Yeah, it's in here, it's in just that times 12.
Okay, if there are no more questions, do we want to set up a time, Mr. Turner?
just a second, let's see what the total is here. The total that she's working on.
Yeah.
If you're on the same.
That seems, that's complicated.
We'll have to revisit that. Okay.
So it is the 530.
Okay, gentlemen, since we're still in our meeting, we need to go back to item number 23, payment of purchase orders from all departments. This one, Mr. Howell, this is yours.
We could not find a contract.
John, can you come up here? Sure. July 1st.
I'll have to look at it.
Well, they check. That's not a contract, so.
Then after Mr. Iskey
I'm sorry, but then you're right, then you should do that and talk about it.
Okay.
So is that right?
360.
360? That is a good number to keep.
Okay, what's the number?
360, the one we had down there.
With dispatch, 360 covers those 10 people plus their social security.
And then she just needs to add to us what her M&O is. Because we need to know what it's gonna take to run that place. And that has to come out of, either it's gonna come out of general fund, or it's gonna come out of 4100, or 330. That'll come out somewhere. And then when she has travel and stuff out. Come out. But we haven't left this issue, have we? The budget?
No.
I make a motion on the budget to go in and take the $633,000 and give it as raises at $200 per employee, and we take that money that is already deposited in the treasurer's office.
We're wanting to fund it as new money.
Use taxes.
Now, hang on, I'm back in the meeting.
Sorry.
That's just
Well, can we wait until you get all your numbers that we went over today, and then put those numbers, I don't know that I can vote for, the entire amount.
It can die for a lack of seconds.
Now, that apparently it does. But in the meantime, if you could look at those, and then we come back and maybe a portion of it, because we've got one commissioner that wants all of it in here, we've got one that I don't think he wants any of it. I'm looking at maybe a portion.
That's not all of it.
No, that's not all of it, there's 700 and some thousand, but still, we've got to finish.
I can do that, yeah, I can have that back to you fairly soon, so. we have to
In
look
how
at it
long?
Soon, I mean, tomorrow.
Oh, I think you said 30 seconds.
Not quite 30 seconds.
I'm a literal thinker. Okay.
I just had a question, was that gonna be on the influence of the district attorney's office, Mr. Iskey, on whether you can use those funds for that? Was he gonna check on that for you? Was that a question you asked him? In order to use that?
Well, I mean, I think we should probably go through the district attorney's office, but, I mean, we're pretty sure that that can be used in that, but I mean, we will, yes, we'll be checking with the DO's office, yes, ma'am. And thank you for that. So when, well, I understand. So when will we want to put this back on? Next week? Or special? Can you be here next week? We can, if that's better for you.
That works fine for me.
Does that work for you, gentlemen? Okay. So Mr. Turner will be back next week at 1 o'clock. Okay? Mr. Iskey, you said you had some issue there, unfinished business.
Under item 8, unfinished business, number 3, were you holding that one till you did the budget?
Oh, that's right, this morning, Director Bentley had held that one, had asked that one to be held.
Has that been established, if that's the rule, cash funds pay for their benefits, is that the rule now? It's just making a rule, so when we do payroll, we always have the rule.
Yeah, it's always the same.
Right. Just being consistent.
It wouldn't be if we're
So we're
gonna
still
take.
Because we did 911 totally different. So it's not the same.
It's exception right now for 911, T-Highway, sales tax, cemetery,
So no rule.
So apparently not.
No rule, just.
Cemetery is not a cash account. It's just a general exception.
I'm trying to think about that.
So, you named all the exceptions, are there any that,
I don't think I
that
need
are
all the
okay?
exceptions.
Okay, so we'll take no action on that item. Was there another unfinished business that you thought of, Mr. Iskey?
No, sir.
Okay, do we have a motion to?
Motion to adjourn.
Adjourn, second.
Packer,
Aye.
Delozer,
Now I'm gonna check with the girl over.
See ya.
I'm sure it's gonna know, because they would even let us.
242.
Still need 100,000.
241. 241, that's.
But that obviously doesn't include any raises that would be out in this budget. And do you know if that can be done?
Don't get wet face to the nexus.
And then how do you like that? And if they do, what potential will these taxpayers have? Take that back. Or they find that we have fund now.
No carryover. Before that, you go back there, huge. If they don't spend the carryover, and I knew the carryover got spent because they moved in the courthouse. I mean, that's really the issue. We're in here, we shouldn't have that problem, we probably have some carryover.
Got all that?
If we got that carryover, then, yeah, it's wonderful. What will we do next year? Maybe we still won't need it instead of having carryover.
Gotcha.
That's
So right now, they just have to find